Trojan family, Trojan gang. These two on the screen ain't gang no more. You feel me? They ain't gang no more. Man, I don't even know the inside scoop. I heard that, they was looking at Bama, but they price was too high for Bama. So I don't know if Zachariah left USC because of what type of season he had, or or because he was chasing a bigger bag. I don't know at this point. The news just dropped. I'm starting to do my research on it right now, but all I could find is that they was looking at Alabama, but they coming with a hefty price. Alabama supposedly was cool. My boy B Jones shared me that information. So if y'all don't follow Light the Torch, go follow Light the Torch. Yeah, it's sad we losing our stars. Like, this is starting to hurt now, like, right? And especially on the offensive side. You say you ain't losing no sleep, Joey? No, I'm losing sleep because it ain't just one isolated, you know what I'm saying? Quentin Joyner, that was huge. He was our number one running back coming back for next year, right? Deuce Robinson, one of the four of our super, sophomore wide receivers. That hurt. Kyron Hudson, probably the captain of the wide receiver group. You know what I'm saying? That hurt. These hits is starting to add up. What's up, J.A.? These is starting to add up.
Yep.
Frank said, let me see. Hold on. He said, losing depth, nothing else. I don't know why people are tripping. Bro, it's depth we need. What's up, B. Jenkins?
What's going on with you, man?
How you doing, B. James?
I've been looking for you, bro. Like, I've been looking for you, bro. Like, you the only one, right? You the only one probably that I know that could put a positive spin on this. But for right now, I ain't buying it, bro. Like,
yeah,
I don't like this.
Yeah, I caught it, but dig it though, Carter. Like I said on a prior podcast that you have, if we could keep two, which two would you keep? You can't keep all four. And I said Lemon and Lane, remember?
Yeah.
Now, Zach. Let's be honest. If we're being transparent here, I understand that you question a lot of calls and judgment that Ryder has made. So have I. But if we're being transparent, Zachariah got the most targets out of anybody on the team, even when he wasn't open. He had the most play designs for him, and he was actually on the kickoff and the punt return. As a matter of fact, he stopped running the back on the kickoff return. Don't nobody know why. But you put Lemon in there, and Lemon started what? He started getting down. He started showing people, okay, I'm really that it dude. He showed us that. Now, I understand that Zion is a package deal with his brother. I would expect nothing less. And if he can go somewhere we can get some burn, I understand. But Zachariah was treated like he was one of the premier receivers, even when he wasn't. Let's just be honest.
That's true, but I'm not ready to give up on Zachariah. I believe in a sophomore slump. I really believe that extra weight he put on slowed him down.
Right.
He only like 5'9". You know what I'm saying? So
I agree with it too.
Yeah.
I agree with that too, because I pointed it out. I think I was talking to USCJ on one, after one of the games that SC had. I was like, man, Zachariah looked slow this year. For some reason, he looked real slow.
Right. I think it's the weight. That's the only thing I can think of is the weight gain.
I think it was the muscle. You can't add muscle to everybody.
Nah, not
some people. And I think you pointed it out with a player like, what's my man name that came out of Cali? They went to he played for the Eagles. I'm losing his name now. He was a receiver.
He came out of Cali.
Came out of Cali. Went to
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson. Right. So when you got a receiver like that, you can't put no whole bunch of muscle on them. Right. They're not meant to carry. Their bodies are not meant to carry that type of muscle. Now, I want to say, Carter, you pointed that out one show. But I said, during one of the games where he would catch it in the open field and he would get caught by linebackers. I'm like, man, he looked slow. He looked real slow for some reason, and I didn't know whether or not to attribute it to him trying to set up one of the blocks and just get to open space. But I started even looking at paying attention to him on the punt returns, not the punt return, the kickoff returns. I'm like, man, he's not hitting those seams like he was his freshman year. And I'm like, man, I think kid just picked up too much muscle. He got too much bulk on him. Even when you see him in his uniform, he look a lot thicker.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Look more like
so that slowed it. He looked like a running back, but he looked like a slow running back at that, though.
And then a lot of it, BJ, just to piggyback on what you're saying, when there's two players that you see, they haven't picked up no way from the time they went to college. They went to the NFL, and that's like you said with Deshaun Jackson and Tyreek Hill. They don't put no weight on them.
Right.
Or even Devontae Smith.
Yeah, and I understand I understand the entire idea of packing on muscle to go play in the Big Ten because it is a more physical conference than the Pac-12. You got to remember, Lincoln Riley really didn't plan on playing in the Big Ten or the SEC. That's why he came to the Pac-12, and we want to be honest about it. So the receivers that he recruited, the running backs that he recruited, all of them were suited to play in the Pac-12 for speed. It's not his offenses really weren't designed for power. If you notice it now, he's having to strip down everything and build for power and longevity. If you look at the moves that he's making, again, if I had to choose between two receivers to keep out of the four that we have, because you got to remember, these receivers, the two that we kept, they're going to see the most targets on next year. That's Lemon and Lane. Give me Lemon and Lane.
Hey, Josh Henson, we letting Josh Henson go, the offensive line coach.
We needed to because the offensive line has underperformed for the last 2 years. The only time the offensive line looked pretty solid was the first year in the league, and that's because we had a lot of upperclassmen. But for some reason, we're not recruiting up to par, and we're not training these kids, up to par. He's behind. We've been losing out on a lot of offensive line. Top targets have been going other places, Oregon, Ohio State, Alabama, right out of, like I was saying, right out of the Cali area, man. We've been losing a lot, man. So I agree with it. Riley is making the necessary changes that he needs to make, but you got to understand, even with this day and age, everybody losing talent. It's going to, with the games that with the team that he's trying to build, you're going to lose some players. Attrition is going to happen. So again, I think he's trimming all the fat. Just as long as we don't hit no artery, we don't lose Maava. Just as long as we don't lose, those key pieces on the defense that we need to keep. And just as long as we need to show up that defensive line and that O-line. From what I understand, he's bringing in some defensive linemen this week. So I think he's building for the Big Ten.
Okay. Yeah, but BGs, we can't lose these cats though. And then, everybody when they came in, I think what everybody wanted to see, and especially me as being a fan, I wanted to see them grow together. And it's like it seemed like they had a tight group coming in. And they had drop passes, but at the same time, they weren't utilized right.
Yeah. Prior to that, I would say prior to this day and age that we have now, I would agree with you. I want to see these cats grow together. But in this day and age with NIL and the transfer portal open like free agency, that just ain't gonna happen, man. Everybody is losing players everywhere. I just saw where Alabama was about to lose one of their top freshmen, the cornerbacks, in Barkway. And you know who had offered him a big time NIL deal? Lane Kiffin.
Oh, and Ole Miss, right?
Yeah. Now this kid was getting some burn. He was getting some burn.
Hey,
but he went to one. Yeah. Go ahead.
Let me go back a couple of days though, because I thought of you like when I seen old boy Chasen Johnson, he flipped on us that quick in 2 days with the SMU. Like, what's
Real
going
quick.
on? It's like we can't compete. It seems like we can't compete when it comes to bidding for these players.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. That's the thing. You got other programs that's driving up the prices, man. You understand what I'm saying? So I can have a buddy at a school. Let's just say you and I go to a different school, and you hit me up and like, hey, B Jinx, man, I gotta, the coach over here, he really wants you, and he willing to give you $1.5 million. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I like where I am. I'm in the South, but you out there in LA. I like where I am. I'm close to home. But if you're gonna give me $1.5 million, I'll come out there. So I'm gonna tell my coach, hey, look, coach, I got another offer on the tell you. It's $1.5 million. But hey, look, we can give you two to stay. Your coach may not be feeling that. He be like, oh, well, we really can't overpay for a kid like that. So, I feel good where I am. I'm with my teammates, but these kids going where the bag is, man. That's just plain and simple.
Hey,
Do
but
you overpay? Do
B,
you overpay for players that are not premium positions of need? That's the key.
but look, B Jinx, okay, look. That's why I said if we ain't got the money, first of all, we shouldn't even go to 100-man roster. We should stay at this 85 to save the money, right?
Right. I agree with that, Carter.
Yeah.
100%. I agree with that 100%. We should go with an 85-man roster. And I think you said that the other day, man. And I agree with you 100%. Our thing is we just don't know how much the collective got to dish out and what they're going to spend the money on. Me personally, I think they're going to spend the money on the trenches, which is where it should go. The offensive line and the defensive line. Well, now we got to get a linebacker coach and we got to get an offensive line coach. So right now we're recruiting these kids out of the portal, but we missing some vital pieces to get these kids onto the campus. We need the pieces to get them onto the campus.
Look, and I was saying that because the Chasing Johnson situation, okay, we got outbidded. So I'm like, we should only go after players that we believe in that much that we willing to bid for them then. If we ain't got enough money to bid for certain players, that don't even offer them then. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if Chasing Johnson, if they really thought Chasing Johnson was the truth, they will be willing to bid for him. If you like, oh, that's too much for him, why offer him then anyway? Because it seems like our NIL is not all the way there. We can't compete for every player. I've been saying this. We can't outbid for every player. So we need to identify and choose them players that we willing to outbid for because this is professional now.
I think it's going to be on the defensive line, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying, though, like, why even offer Chasing Johnson, right? Why even?
Well, you got to be competitive, though, Carter. You know what I'm saying? So we can offer a kid.
But that make me feel like, and I'm gonna let my boy Uncle Vic just came in here.
Okay.
I'm gonna let him cook. But I'm feeling like if we ain't got the money like that and we can't bid for them, why go after them? Only go after the players that you for certain that you want and you willing to bid on. Because if he ain't willing to bid on, then was he even that good? Is you bargain shopping? Like you got the kid and somebody else, SMU, wanting them more, and you like, nah, he ain't worth that. Well, I say go after the players that you feel worth that because every player is going to get bidded on. This kid went to USC. Everybody, USC, money ain't right like that. So any kid that commit to us, another school is going to still offer them because they feel like they could beat USC package. So SMU hit Jason Johnson and said, tell us the number. And they beat
so let me ask you a question, Carter. How much you think a player like Chasing Johnson is worth? Just ballpark. How much you think he's worth?
I say he will be worth the going rate for a starting DB. He started his last 4 games. Look, he started his last 4 games, and he got 4 years of eligibility left because he didn't play that 5th game. So he coming back next year. So you can have this kid for 4 years. So I will pay him the average and be willing to go up a little more because defensive back is a premium need. We need BJ. I know the defensive line is the number 1 premium, but with all the DBs we got leaving, DB is second on that list, probably tied for the offensive line. So that let's just
say the going rate is $300K, right? Hypothetically speaking, let's just say the going rate is $300K for that type of defensive back per year. Now this is per year, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's just say SMU came in last minute, which they did because we thought he was signed, right? Let's just say SMU came in and said, well, hey, how much, SC paying you? They tell you, hey, they're paying me $300K and, and I got a nice little apartment downtown LA, right? And SMU come in and say, well, hey, look, we got our defensive line solidified. The only thing we need is these DBs. So, hey, look, we'll give you $500K. Carter, do you give him $500K to stay?
If I believed in them, like, right? If I offered them, this is what I'm saying. At this point, knowing USC situation, I'm only offering players I believe in. So if I believe that Chasen Johnson will be a starter for us, then yeah, because that's a
Yeah, for
position.
4 years, right?
Yeah, and for 4 years. So yeah, I would pay it, bro. I wouldn't give him something like double the amount, or I wouldn't give him quarterback money. But DB is a premium position. If you got a lockdown DB, that do hella for your defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got they're out there locking down one side of the field. You know how much the defense will go to the next level. So if I believe in it, so that's what I'm saying. I feel like they offering players just to fill the roster for depth. Like, no, go after players that you feel like is impact players and gonna make a difference. They gonna tip the scales of our odds to winning to losing.
Mm-hmm.
Grab them players where, oh, you get this player, our Vegas odds going up type shit. So I'm just saying, I don't know how they feel about Chasen Johnson. I think Vic said his audio messed up. Hey, Vic, if your audio messed up, leave out and come back in.
Yeah, I think they feel. I think they feel good. I think they felt good about Chasen Johnson, just like the other kid that they bringing in from San Jose State. I can't remember the kid name. The other DB that they got.
DJ.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think I think they're primarily. I think they're really going to throw the bag at their defensive line and the offensive line. That's why I think the majority of it going, because we got a few DBs that are not experienced. But if I'm going to overpay, this is me personally. If I'm going to overpay for anybody, it's going to be for that defensive line and for that offensive line.
All right, but look though, check it. I heard that it's partly a money issue because I heard Branchton was looking at Alabama, but Alabama was like, "Fuck no, they want too much money."
Because it's a package deal. So you got to remember, they already had the Jordan Brand NIL deal with them, right? Which is, I don't understand why they leave it personally. But I had a couple months ago, somebody floated around on social media about Branch might end up going to Miami. Of course, I didn't believe it, but they said look for Miami to be a player in it. But wherever he goes, his brother is going to have to be a package deal. But again, I asked you last time, and I asked the both of you this time. If you can only keep two of your premier wide receivers, which two would you keep? The two that I said are currently on the roster right now, as of right now. The other two, I was willing to let go of, Branch and Deuce. They're gone right now.
I'm gonna keep it with the same two that stayed.
But I feel you, but I feel like
I want them all.
I feel like we at least need three though. And what is the depth though? What if Lemon go down? What if Lane go down for
I
like?
heard that kid that they brought in the other day really love SC. So it might be a
from
play to
Tulsa?
where
Joseph
yeah,
Williams?
it might be it might, because I think he said he enjoyed every second of it. So it might be a play to where they bringing this kid in, and from what I understand, I think it was y'all was telling me that you guys were telling me that is this dude really attack the ball? He's a monster out there.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna bring in another receiver, it's gonna be that caliber of receiver, because we got a Zach Branch. His name is Makai Lemon, but he has better hands. He runs a better route tree, and you saw it. He got the ability, to take a kickback back to the house. He got that ability. So yeah, we got him. We got a Branch.
I know, but it's.
But hold on, Jay. But you ain't concerned at all though. Like this, like on top of the transfer we just got. Like, bro, I think we broke the record for the shortest time having a player transferred to us.
Yeah. You talking about with the DB?
Yeah, so it's like, bro, like we can't even keep the players we bringing in, and all these players are leaving.
Yeah. That was, that was out of the blue. Again, I wanted the kid to stay, Chasen Johnson. I wanted him to stay, but I understand, at the end of the day, this is a business, man, and you can't get emotionally tied up to any one kid because they could be gone tomorrow. Alabama lost one of their top running backs. Right now, I think he's looking at, what was it? I think either Ohio State, or I think his name is Justice Haynes. He was a 5-star coming out. Was slated to get some burn. He got the hell on. Why? Because he want a bigger bag, man. Listen, this is just the way it's gonna be, man, for the next until they get this thing fixed, until they get this portal fixed. Now the NIL, man, you really can't put a cap on, somebody's name and image because this is a capitalistic society that we live in. But with this portal, until they get that portal fixed, man, it's gonna always be like this every year. You're gonna find yourself having to re-recruit your top players, even that's on the roster, because they might go out and have a fire season. Let's just say Brian Jackson pick up 1,400 yards next year, right? You think you're gonna get him at the same price this year than you do next year?
No, but
you don't have to go back in and
that's what we talked about before, B Jinx. Remember, I was telling you so every year, well, we gonna see that like running back is a disposable position. Like we already know what we have with Quentin Joyner. Quentin Joyner's getting offered by like Ohio State right now, Oregon, like so they know the quality of what he is and what he brings to the table. So like every year we just gonna funnel him out. Like okay, well.
Like, yeah, look like we a stepping stone program. Come to SC for a year, build your stock up and transfer.
Right.
SC,
that's what's been going on.
Build them war up and transfer.
So why isn't SC keeping the players though?
That's what Gibson and Justice Terry did. Remember, they came out, they committed.
Hold on, now Uncle Vic.
Yeah. How y'all doing, man?
What's up with it?
Doing good, my man.
Enjoying the conversation, man. Y'all are up on this game, huh? Y'all know USC front and back. So I've been in here trying to look at it because I know the athletic director. He ain't supported, like they need to be supported. So I don't know if they having a chance to compete like they need to compete. I know their wallet is long, but how much has he allocated?
It's not the well, okay. So word on the street now, I don't know. I listened to some podcasts the last couple of days. Is Lincoln Riley's actually the one trying to run the negotiations for the NIL? It ain't really Dave Emmert.
That's that ego he got. That's that same shit that have him throwing passes, when he should be running the ball. That's that ego.
You got to remember, he had to try to keep 4 receivers happy, right? So it goes back to what I was saying last time. We got 4 big time receivers, but you got the fans asking you to run the ball. Well, if the running backs touching it, 40 times a game, split between Marks and Jonah, then guess who's not happy now? The receivers. So my question to you is, who do you keep happy, your receivers or your running back?
You keep your fan base happy by winning games because most of those games really boil down to, 2 or 3 decisions that he makes, most of them coming in the fourth quarter, where he's just not absolutely, because a lot of things change when that locker room is happy from winning games, right? People can, you willing to back, acquiesce a little bit if you in that energy of winning. Right. But when these guys, when they not winning and they not getting the ball, and they not getting their money, shit, that's why you have this revolving door at the front. Because these dudes is just leaving. Look, we're not winning enough. I'm not getting paid enough, and he ain't calling my number enough. And that seems to be the whole thing. I'm not a huge Lincoln Riley fan because, I think he's overrated as an offensive play caller for real. But as far as this goes, my concern or what I've been looking at is what is Mike Bone, how is he playing? Because he doesn't seem like he's on board with getting these kids paid.
We don't have Mike Bone anymore.
No, he said he's not on Bone, not Mike.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Mike. But here's the thing: you got programs with the same record as us in the top 5 in recruiting. Auburn right now, top 5 in recruiting. They've been terrible the last 4 or 5 years, man. It come down to that bag, like Carter was saying earlier. How much do you have, and how much you got in your war chest? Right now, Oregon is just on a whole different level. As much as I hate them, I gotta admit it, man. They in a whole different stratosphere.
Yeah, they don't rebuild, they reload.
Yeah. So, but they got a bigger checkbook though. Ohio State got a bigger checkbook. Texas and Texas A&M got bigger checkbooks. They just got bigger checkbooks. And
I think that, but SC have more money on the campus that they're not utilizing. They have
Yeah,
so
but
many
are
billionaires.
they
I'm thinking the
contributing though?
billionaires they don't trust in Lincoln Riley.
They didn't trust in Clay Helton. I will say this: they trusted Lincoln Riley more than they did Clay Helton because they didn't contribute shit when Clay Helton was there, and he's been the only coach that has won a Rose Bowl and a conference championship since Pete Carroll left. The only one.
Okay, so all right, let's look at it this perspective, right? If you change up your play calling, right?
Right.
You just
Right.
change up your play calling. I'm not asking him to go get an offensive coordinator. He's supposed to be, we've talked about this, B. James. We talked about this, Carter, even on USCJ
Right.
page. That when the players are winning,
Mm-hmm.
the fans are happy.
Right.
The players are more happy. The stadium sold out.
Right.
There's more memorabilia being sold,
Right.
and you're in LA.
Right.
So that increases everything to where this guy, if somebody gonna drop a check to you, they want to know they want to know what the return is on the investment.
All facts. All facts. I agree
So
with
if you
you.
just got to go in just wanting to win, last year we saw Michigan win a championship, and they wasn't running. They was doing was running the ball, and I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah. But LA
if
is
you're running
different.
the ball, it's gonna
LA
be
is different
easier
from
for them guys to get open. Be jinxed.
LA
It's
is different
easier.
from. How many times have y'all told me that LA is different from Ann Arbor? They want to see points on the board. They want to see win, but they like to see points on the board. Everybody like to see points on the board. Me personally, I felt that Woody Marks should have got at least 25 to 30 carries a game.
Yep.
Me personally, that's what I think. But again, we had the wrong quarterback in there. We didn't have the right quarterback in there. So Riley didn't have access to his full arsenal. When we did put the quarterback in there, it started to turn around. We started to see dividends. And actually, Branch saw the ball more than he did with Moss.
Right. But that proves the
You
point
understand
even
what I'm
more
saying?
because if you know your quarterback's a piece of shit, excuse my language, I ain't trying to knock Miller Moss. But if you know
Right.
he's not that guy, then that lets you know
Uh-huh.
you got to depend on your running game. Michigan,
Right.
they didn't will go 6-5, 6-6 this year or anything like that.
Right.
But what did they do? They went to the strength. Anytime we run
Right.
in the ball, we win in the game.
Right. Right. Anytime we run in the ball, we win in the
We
game.
win in the
And
game. We win the game. Everybody gonna be more happier, and then it's gonna open up for so much more play action. And I mean, I guess it's a catch
so let me
22
ask you a question. Why you think Zach Branch left?
because he wasn't utilized the right way. I don't think it was the money because they would have paid him. He was a freshman All American the year before, and they got the Jordan. They got that Jordan deal. Him and his brother. They got that
So
NIL deal.
right,
So
right.
that came, but
So
that
you
came from
say
being in LA. You're not gonna
so
get
you
no deal like that in Alabama.
so you say he wasn't utilized the right way, right?
Correct.
He had the most packages on the team on the offense.
But most of his utilization though was the punk ass bubble screens. Come on, if you take away the bubble
But
Right.
he
screen,
couldn't catch it. But he couldn't catch the ball down the field though. He couldn't catch it down the field.
Well, they
When
would
you
barely throw
see
it to him down the field, and
see
then he
it,
would.
Miller Moss threw it to him all the time. Miller Moss forced it to him.
but
When
Miller
you see
Moss
he catch
missed.
it,
Miller Moss missed them 4 times.
right, right. That's what I'm saying. We had the wrong quarterback in there. We had the wrong quarterback. Maava should have been starting after that Minnesota game.
Yeah.
That loss, he should have been starting then.
Actually, they should have done like how Penn State was doing. Now that quarterback's going somewhere. I didn't realize he played that much, but they were putting him in packages the whole season.
Kyron
They even put him
Hudson.
in packages. They put him in packages against SC.
Hey,
Right,
Yep.
right.
Kyron
They did.
Hudson with the Penn State. Y'all seen that?
Yeah, I
Yep.
saw that. I
Mm-hmm.
saw that.
They don't pass
I
that
saw that.
much.
Yeah, I saw that. Well,
They passed on one person,
again,
the tight end.
yeah. He ate us up, man. Who did he eat up? Who did he eat up? Who did
He
he
ate up
eat?
everybody, but he ate us up the most.
I'm
No,
talking about on our team. Who did he eat
right.
up on our team?
Who was on cover?
Who was covering him?
We was
Yeah.
we was putting linebackers on him. Then we finally adjusted and put Kamari Ramsey on him, and he pretty much shut him down. So we
Yeah.
was either running zone. He was eating up our zones. He was getting in between them seams and shit.
Oh,
I
okay.
seen him eating up that Branch kid.
So what we gonna do about these lines though? Because as long as Lincoln's been there, we ain't had no real line to speak of. While we have some people that have jumped out and shown that they have developed, from the time they came in or whatever. They got a couple of guys. I don't know their names offhand, but as a whole, as a unit, the whole time that Lincoln's been there, and then he expects him to protect that quarterback who is always 7 yards behind the center, which gives you all sorts of ways to spread the offensive line out and get rushing lanes. What do we know about that line on both sides of the ball? Anybody coming in? Anybody of note?
I'm happy you said that because we got somebody coming to visit this dude right here, Josh Jarrett.
Yeah, he on campus now, right? Or this weekend?
Yep. I don't know what day he coming to visit.
I think it's today. I think he visited today.
Ooh, I like that. He's 6'6", 338 pounds. Will have 3 years left. What's his star
rating?
Now, what's his star rating?
Yeah.
He was a 4-star. He was a 4-star when he came out.
Okay, got it.
So with the Georgia, who got is that an old line? That's D-line, right?
D-line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So B Jinx. Now, is this player worth bidding on?
Yes. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
It's not like he's for money.
Henson going to Purdue. They said Henson going to Purdue.
Oh yeah, okay. They plucked Henson from us. We didn't fire Henson. They just plucked him. So everybody jumping ship on Riley. That's his boy. He brought him from Oklahoma. He left.
No. Henson came from Texas A&M.
Yeah, he came from Texas A&M.
Okay, the Oklahoma coach did what it called the O-line coach.
Yeah, but look, he left from Texas A&M right after Lincoln Riley left. So he left his job to come to USC with Lincoln. Now he's going to Purdue. That's a downgrade. That's what I'm saying. What's going on to these people?
Well, I don't even fuss about him. I let that cat go. As bad as our offensive lineman playing, you think that's a what I'm saying? Let that cat go.
That's true.
No, let him go.
But you know what? You can't do nothing without athletes, man. And that seems to be the problem. We just, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's not the fact that we're not focused on, the line like we should be, because I believe that you build a team from the middle out. Because, skill players, man, skill players, I ain't going to say they're a dime a dozen, especially when you start getting to the five-star elite level. But you can find some skilled players, man. How many teams do we play that where dudes go off on us that you never heard from before? But they got the skill set. They just haven't had the publicity that some of these dudes have. But I think it's harder to find that big dude that can hold down that middle, that can make those blocks, that can read the stunts of the line and stuff. We haven't been able to pull those types of guys, and I think it's a philosophical thing with Lincoln Riley, because there's no reason why we should be getting all the skill players we get and no linemen.
And that's my problem, though. Like, now we losing the skill players. Like, even the skill players don't want it. You feel me? So it's like, I think I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Do y'all think this is because Lincoln Riley, he done lost a little his luster? Like, people don't believe in him as much. Like, not even the coaching staff. Matt Entz, I know he took the head coach job at Fresno State, but that's Fresno State. This dude, he left and went to Purdue. It seemed like people are leaving us more than we we don't need
attracting people.
Yeah, I think it's a twofold.
See, B Jinx. Hold on.
What happened?
Elijah Hughes is gone now. My boy B Jones just told me Elijah Hughes gone.
That's you took me the linebacker?
Man.
No, the defensive lineman.
That's the defensive lineman?
Yeah.
Speaking of defensive line, right?
Speaking of it, we losing players.
Isn't that Henny? And did Henny recruit him?
No. He came in under the Alex Grinch regime. So
okay.
So I think it's a twofold situation. First of all, you like this year, the way we were going to win, all of our games are close except the Notre Dame game. Every game, like a play here, play there. It's close games, right?
Right.
But that comes from running the ball. So it's two things. Lincoln Riley doesn't understand probably the university he's at, where we had tailback you, Marcus Allen, Reggie Bush, Lindell White. Who the one you played with?
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm gonna speak on that when you finish. Go
All
ahead.
right, Charles White. He don't understand the landscape of how we've been winning for years on years on years. And then second of all, he don't understand the landscape of where he at in LA to recruit the LA boys. You know, that's like a simple fix. Maybe it's more difficult than that they see it or how he see it than what it really is. But if you from LA or you a USC fan and you've been a diehard for years, which all of us have, you already know what SC does. Go ahead and cook, huh?
Yeah, because you and I had this conversation, right? Lincoln Riley came in and he looks like, like I said, he got a big old ego. So he came in with all the fanfare. And so he wanted to create everything in his own image. And it doesn't seem like he's tied into the history of USC. Like you were speaking about how he ain't brought in none of these other guys. I've never had any, I've never heard anyone say, well, this guy came in and spoke to the team. This guy came in and put the team up on history, and create this culture of where, it's more than the money, right? You building a network for the future. You getting plugged in with all the livest stuff going on in town everywhere. You part of a community that's international where you ain't got to worry about nothing for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? That kind of way. But it looks like he's kind of separated himself from that. And now it's just, it's the Lincoln Riley show. And that's just the sense that I get from that. I don't know if you seeing that over there, because I know, John, you up on it, you at the games all the time and all that. Right. But I'm just not feeling him like that. Like he not doing it for us.
And it's hard for us to get rid of him because we paid him so much money. So it's like
we can't get rid of him.
Yeah, so it's like if I'm locked into a contract and you telling me like, oh, okay, I got $110 million contract and y'all bought out my house in Oklahoma and you gave me a $30 million mansion in Rancho Palos Verdes, you can't get rid of me in year 3 because you got to buy me out.
And he plays it like that.
You said what?
Plays it like that. I said he knows that and he plays it like that. He don't acquiesce to shit, bro. He just basically doing Lincoln Riley. He running around like, shit, I'm that dude, and either get in line or find someplace else to be. And it look like the homies is finding someplace else to be.
Facts.
Exactly. Hey, so let me ask you guys a question. If you think that if Henny really wanted to keep Elijah Hughes, he would be there.
Yeah.
Hey, come
on. About Coach Henny, right?
No. I don't think Coach Henny is deciding. Coach Henny could just say, I want him. It takes somebody else it takes somebody else to say he worth the money he asking. That's just like a head coach of a team. The head coach can tell the GM, oh, I want this player. But if they can't negotiate the contract with the agent, it don't matter what the coach saying. I know he likes Elijah Hughes because he talked about him in a positive way. And Elijah Hughes, he started getting burned at the end of the season. And this is the thing, like at this point, B Jinx, it's about the bodies. It ain't about what we think Elijah Hughes is, like is he worth whatever it is. We need bodies at this point. We already came into the transfer portal with holes. Now we got more holes. So if we lacking NIL money, how we gonna add the players that we needed before these players left and replace these dudes? So that Sam Green left on the D line and Elijah Hughes. No matter what you think about Sam Green or Elijah Hughes, they spot on the roster gotta be replaced. This for depth practicing and all that. So them leaving, if we not willing to match Elijah Hughes' price, I heard somebody in the comments say he was a depth player. Okay.
Yeah, what was he asking for though? You don't know what he was asking for. I don't know
what he was, but he ain't even in position to ask for that much. Elijah Hughes was a redshirt freshman. He redshirted the first year, I think, and barely played this year. He's not in position to
Yeah.
ask for a big bag. We losing players who I know ain't in position to ask for a big bag. Sam
What's his
Greenwood,
what's his measurements? What does he measure out to?
6'3", 290.
6'3", 290?
Yep.
What was he playing? What was he playing? Tackle
Maybe a
or what was
redshirt
he playing the
freshman. So
nose?
basically, his
He
second
playing
year,
the nose?
playing D tackle.
He playing D tackle?
He's not playing over the nose, but he playing D tackle. You know what I mean?
he was playing a 3-tech.
Yep.
Right? And he could slide outside, though. He got versatility. He could play in, too.
Which is what DeAnton Lynn, our defensive coordinator, likes. He like people that, you know, they can move in either position. They play on the outside, inside, versatile.
Yeah, Elijah Hughes is a loss, bro, especially on the inside. We need
From a depth perception, yeah, you're correct. From a depth
you know what I'm
perspective.
saying? Now this is more money. Look. Whoever we replace him with probably ain't gonna be better than him because we trying to cut money. So whoever we replace, we gonna want to give them Elijah Hughes money or less. So these players, more than likely, we're going to get a player with lesser talent because we ain't got the money. So if you ain't got the money to sign a let's say the NBA, if you ain't got the money to sign a max superstar, then what? You gonna get an all-star? You gonna get somebody below that? So if we ain't got enough money to pay these players who ain't even superstar players, whoever we replace them with is gonna be somebody who can even command as much as them.
So let me ask you a question. If they were to get, all right, they had two players that has visited so far on the D line. The kid that's visiting today and the kid that's from Kentucky. What's his name? Silva or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If they were to snag both of those, would you say that that was a good trade?
Yeah.
That's a good trade, right? Because it's upgrade, but we still need somebody behind them. Like
behind him. I get that. I get that. Yeah, I get that.
Still gonna look the field. Yeah, we still gonna look the field. Elijah Hughes' presence he left on the roster and Sam Green. So now
I get that.
we need them two and somebody else. Right. So if you felt like okay, USC needed 2 or 3 defensive linemen in the portal that's quality players, now add 5 or 6 because we got to replace the players that's leaving, bro. So
let me ask you a question. Who didn't play that
much? I want to ask a question too.
All right. Lucas didn't play that much, and Jade, right? They didn't play that much this year, right? So what if we were to get those 2 players that I just mentioned, and then Lucas and Jade be behind them? Would you say that would be pretty good depth?
No.
I still think we all right. Look,
because if one person gets hurt, 2 people get hurt. We saw it happen this year. Okay, Lucas got hurt. What's his name? Without Bear jumped in the portal in the middle of the year, redshirted. You know, and then we had, you know, and then you had Gavin Meyer who was hurt but just still played because he's like an Iron Man type player. He gonna play hurt
he
regardless.
It out.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he gonna thug it out. You know what I'm saying? So
put some tape on it.
Yeah.
He had a whole big cast on his hand.
Yeah, right. Remember that? No, yeah. So
put some tape on it. Let's go.
And then we replacing them with freshmen. It's like, what? Like, what is this? Like, okay. My question is, I'm gonna ask Uncle Vic this question. This is for everybody, but like, because I know him and we talked about this, and this, I think he'll give a different perspective on the money situation. So, Oregon got one fat billionaire who will pay anything with an open check, but just because he want to win a championship. But there's more money at the USC campus.
So yeah, their alumni is stacked with money. And matter of fact, I'm glad you asked. Go ahead and finish your question though. You're gonna say something else.
I was gonna say, compared to one billionaire, compared to how many billionaires are on SC campus, compared to all the multi billionaires and everything, and even not even that, but also all the players you put in the league who coming back on campus and involved in the community and doing everything. What's the difference of being at SC and being at Oregon or any of these other universities when we got more money?
Okay, for a couple of things. I think one, like we were talking about before, is the culture, right? You get up to Oregon and you see how they operate their thing, all the way from their facilities to the way they bring everybody together, you know, and you just tied into this whole historical perspective of what's been achieved, what we're committed to achieving, and where we plan on going in the future. Right? SC, even from the outside, you get a sense that every year is for this year. Right? Like there's no real culture, and they have this sort of elitist sort of the way that they operate in their program. It's like, you know, it almost is almost like a bunch of rich dudes that are all kind of doing their own thing. And yeah, I'll cut a check, but you know, don't bother me. So you don't have a sort of culture. That's just been my experience from the outside looking in. Obviously, I don't go there. I'm not an alum or anything like that. But, you know, I just don't get that outside of the fan base, you know, that'll fill up the Coliseum and wear their colors and cheer and all that. I don't see USC, you know, just, you know, they're creating that die-hard sort of feeling, you know, that you get like at some of these places. Granted, shit, we got way more stuff to do in LA, you know, so there's, you know, everybody's pulling on everybody's coattail for attention, and you don't have that so much in Oregon. They don't even have any other teams, but you know, I just don't get that we're tied in like that. And I get that now with the money that they gave Lincoln is an elitist, bro. Lincoln is an elitist. He you know, he's sitting up there on the mountaintop, and these kids ain't feeling connected. That's my sense of it. They just not feeling connected. They cool when they at practice and on the football field or whatever, and then they all, you know, go to their separate ways, the NIL apartment, and you know, I'll see you tomorrow when everything gets back together. Now, I don't know that to be true, but my other question is, there is no limit, right? There is like a salary cap or anything like that on this money?
Nope.
So they can bring in as much money as they want to, right?
Right.
A high school player just signed $10 million to go to Michigan. Yes. They can get whatever.
$10 million. So
and paid it down.
Say a little bit
I thought
more.
It was 12. I thought it was 12.
That's
I thought it was 12.
Well,
for how long?
Yeah.
Oh, and how does
3
that
years.
work?
For 4
years.
years, and they break it down every single year. So if it's 12, he stays 4 years, he gets $4 million a year.
Okay,
Right.
so if he bounced, then he loses the unused portion
The
of
remaining
that
amount.
deal.
Right. You're right. That's what it
Got
was.
it. Okay, cool.
But the team wins. Now they're going back in for renegotiation, as they should. When we talk about the last slide, what did I say? My number one thing, I would be player retention. My second thing, I would be recruiting. My third thing would be the portal. That's how I allocate my money.
Mm-hmm.
So all the players who ball out, their retention game, I'm going to give them more money. They don't even got to come to me and ask for it. I'm coming to you. You ain't got to go and try to prove yourself to jump in the portal. I'm going to give you the money.
But see, you talking the same thing I'm saying. You talking culture. You talking about a certain way of doing business where, you know, you wouldn't even give up a little bit of money just because, you know what, I'm not leaving this. I'm not leaving this feeling. I'm not leaving this collective. I'm not leaving this opportunity. You know I could make a little bit more money someplace else. But shit, this is a lifetime program that I'm now connected to that's going to take care of me and mine forever.
Right.
But when somebody's offering you that much money and you ain't never had shit, you ain't.
Well, I mean,
if turning it down.
If it's a bank breaker, if it's a bank breaker. But my guess is though that most of these guys, their NIL offers are pretty similar, right? Like I'm guessing there's an outlier where a guy is going to just get offered something.
Well, Oregon is just dropping anybody whatever the hell they want to.
Right.
It's similar.
Because that kid
don't give a.
That kid was I think he was committed to LSU first, right? He was committed to LSU first.
Okay. Who was that?
And then bounced the quarterback that went to Michigan.
But he's from Michigan. So they we keep the whole, but see, that makes sense though. They keep the home kid home.
Yep.
And he been balling in that whole area because for the 707, being in high school since a freshman, everybody know he the truth. Yep. We even know he the truth. We talk about him on the West Coast.
Yep. Yeah, Bryce. And look, Bryce Underwood, he wanted to visit USC, but Lincoln Riley was so up Juju Lewis' ass, he turned him away.
Yep.
See?
Hey, y'all wanted Juju too, man. Stop it.
But I no. I always look, check it. I always been against this going for one quarterback per class. That's
Right.
the dumbest shit I ever didn't heard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
but you can't afford to you can't afford to pay 2 top freshmen though. I'm the one that said, "Nah, man, drop
All right, but
Lewis
look,
and go after Long Street."
see, so
I've been
look,
said that.
see, that's
Mm.
Yeah.
why we ain't gonna never compete then. That's why we stuck. That's why we stuck. We saying we can't do this, and the other schools are saying yes, we can. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they know they got the money. They know the money
Well,
gonna come back.
you got to
But
solve for X
schools
then,
not
Carter.
realize
You
that.
got to know how much. You got to know how much that they really got to play with, and how much wiggle room they got. We already know that up there in Oregon, it's an open checkbook, but you really don't know
Yeah,
how
but
much
it should be
collective
an
got here.
open checkbook. Like, okay, you know who I'm gonna go to? I don't know. I don't know which donor this was, but you guys remember that donor? And I live in LA, so I've seen it.
Mhm.
That the donor that owns all the signs, all the freeways, and all that. He
Mm-hmm.
he owns that. He had like give Reggie Bush his Heisman back,
Oh,
or
that's
and he
him.
put that for a whole
That's him.
year. He
That's
didn't put
him.
he
That's
didn't
the
put
one that
like
does it.
if Ford wanted to come in or Chrysler or any of the big time corporations wanted to come in and buy his actual I can't think of what it's called, but yeah, like the sign to put that up. He took his money out, basically ate that money for them to give him his Heisman back.
You
So
talking about the
it ain't like
billboard,
that they
right?
don't got the money. It ain't like you don't got the people who not supporting football. It's just I think they're looking at it like if we put our hands and our money into this football, what it's gonna look like. And it don't look right from what we see.
Know
When
what?
we
You
Yeah,
don't
and you're right. It's a point of view that especially your girl that's running the program now. She got a whole different view of things, right? Like
right.
she doesn't understand the magnetism that championship perennial powerhouse USC program does for that university. Right now, her thinking, from what I can tell, is she just wants to spread the money around. It all has to be equal. We need to give money to this, and we need to give money. But she doesn't seem to have a sense of that you have to build a flagship, and you have to make sure that everybody on the planet knows this is your flagship and this is what we're doing now. We win in championships, and every year, if we don't win it, everybody's wondering what happened.
Yeah,
Not the
because
other way around.
we're not seeing a lot of people leaving from Oregon.
Nope.
But that's because that's the player retention part of
The
it.
culture.
Even that's somebody like they giving a check, bro. Like they not playing. Like even the players they're like, oh, you want to leave? Okay, cool. Let's go talk to Uncle Nike, and let's see if he'll give us an extra 50,000 for you. And they're like, okay, great. It's better to stay up here. I'm already established. Everything good. Everything's cool. We can keep on moving forward. And then with the recruits, he'll pay any recruit, and then he'll also pay the transfers. Okay, we need to re-evolve players, have more players coming here who got experience. But when we have the players who have experience, we want the top notch. We want the best of the best. When we were in the Pete Carroll days, best of the best.
Hey, look.
Every
Constantly.
kid was
Hey, look.
flocking.
Check it. Look, I'm gonna
Okay.
keep it real with y'all. I ain't
Mm-hmm.
even gonna front on none of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
First off, it seemed like USC think they could set the market on these players. No, the market set it on these players. You can't tell a player what he worth. The market tells the players what they worth. That's
Yeah.
USC first goddamn problem. These players ain't good enough for us, and we went 6-6, but they good enough for these other top tier programs. That's bullshit.
Yep.
Secondly, I at this point, I know our NIL lacking because we would not be losing no players on the defensive line. We need defensive line. Elijah Hughes was needed.
Needed.
Ray John Davis was needed.
Yep. Not
Sam
wanted.
Green was needed. All these players was needed. So if we losing these players, we ain't got the bag like that. So if we ain't got the bag like that, then the little bag we do got, we got to just focus it all on the trenches. Then try to get the skill position players at a dime
That's what
or a
I'm
dozen.
saying, Carter. If you believe that we don't have the bag like that, how can you blame Riley then?
Okay,
We
but
do got the bag though.
yeah, see,
It's
We
just
got the bag.
we got the bag. How many? Uncle Vic, I think you're the first person that told me this. How many billionaires came out of SC? Like 30 something.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
don't
Yeah.
mean they contributing to the football program though.
Because of
Like
the position that they are with dealing with Lincoln Riley.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yep.
I get that part. I get that part. But
yeah, not only that, but also what's her name, Jennifer Bonner,
Cohen.
Yeah,
Cohen.
Jennifer
Now, if
Cohen.
she
Yeah,
trying to spread the money around to everybody, man, then of course, you're not gonna be able to pull her in the top talent if she want to give everybody including
exactly.
all the sports,
Yeah.
baseball,
No.
basketball,
I
Yep.
think
soccer.
hold on,
Badminton.
y'all. Hold on, y'all. I think she only doing that with the revenue share. The NIL, she
Okay.
can control that. Each player control, you know what I'm saying? They own NIL.
Okay.
She can't
Wait.
distribute the NIL money.
Wait.
But the
Okay. Well, so
other campuses are winning because they don't got the NIL perspective that we have. They don't got the NIL hookups that we have.
But
But if
let's
you
be
look
real
at
though. It ain't even the NIL is a collective because
right,
NIL is name, image, and likeness. So
right.
ain't no way that quarterback that signed for 10 million already got that much NIL money. That was collective money disguised as NIL.
well, word on the street, they just had another big donor come and drop in after they start winning. Michigan. They had another donor, the wife and the husband. The wife went to Michigan, and they coming in, they billionaires, and they're like, "Oh, we'll put in the program." And if you look at it from a perspective, like, okay, they look like they're gonna get a return on their money. You know why? They got 110,000 fans coming in there every week.
Oh, you talking about after they beat Ohio State? That's when they came in and dropped that.
No, yeah, after because yeah. What if you got 110,000 fans? We used to have 100 at the college before they renovated it. Now we got like 75. So, but when you got 110,000 fans, dude, I was looking at going to the Michigan game, right? I'm looking at the prices. The prices were ridiculous.
Yeah.
You sitting in the nosebleed for like $500, $900 in the nosebleed.
Yep.
So
Hey, did you say they trying to put it to where you rub his shoulders with nothing but the elite and the
Yeah.
elite sit down front though, right?
Yeah, but
So
USC, man,
right,
I think what it is though is you have to have that like a target. Like you have got to
right.
have a situation where you making sure that everybody who has the ability,
Mm-hmm.
and USC got a graduate roster that's shit, it's you talk about elite. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Why you not?
right.
Why they not on board with us? Why we not connecting with all of them? And I think it starts to happen when you start reaching out way out there. Like Lincoln Riley was not an LA guy. I mean, when he got signed, everybody was like, "What?" Like they didn't see it coming. Because he's not from here. He ain't got no connections to the local culture. He has no connections to the local coaching environment. He doesn't know who these young players are, and they leaving because he's sitting on his mantle up on in his castle and
Rancho Palos Verdes, right?
Rancho Palos Verdes, and he's not connecting with these kids, right? So even when they get to him, and if the money's equal, and these other schools are acting like we really want you, we want you here, look here, and Lincoln Riley probably sitting up there like, what, we'll take you, but shit, we good. We good, because that's kind of the attitude that it seems like USC is having. They just not being able to.
I think he just underestimated, the area is what it is. Because you got to
Yep.
remember, prior to him going to SC, he was out at Oklahoma. He was recruiting Southern California because that's where he got Lemon from, and that's where he got the quarterback Malachi Nelson from. So
Right.
he cherry picked, and what we had talked about, on a prior show was him putting the fence up around Southern Cal and cherry picking everywhere else. I think that's what he's starting to focus on now. If you look at that 2026 class, and I think Carter spoke to it last show, out of the 7 top commits that he got, 5 of them from California. So I think he started to finally get the picture from a recruit standpoint that you want to keep that local talent home and we'll cherry pick everywhere else. I think he just underestimated the conference itself, going from the Pac to the Big Ten, and it's been eye opening for him. So now to where you had a lot of luxury pieces as far as your skill positions. The 4 top wide receivers. Well, now you don't need that many because you're in a more physical conference than you would be a more laid back conference like the Pac. So now let me build this team up for this physical conference that we're gonna
So
be
you
in. I
so
think
you
that's what
feel
he wants.
confident. You sound like you feel confident in the direction that he's going. That from what you've seen. Is there anything in particular that you've seen that gives you this sort of confidence to make you think that he's getting a clue now?
Well, for one, they went after a top defensive line target and they got him in. It might have been pricey, but they got him in. For what
Okay.
they bringing on the campus, the kid that they bringing on the campus today from Georgia, the kid
Uh-huh.
that they brought on last week was from Kentucky. Both of those are SEC caliber defensive linemen. You understand
Okay.
what I'm saying? So that, and he getting rid of his offensive line coach. He's gonna bring it. He'll probably bring in another coach that's gonna be better with coaching fundamentals to these kids and techniques, and
Yeah.
that can recruit, and keep
Cool. It's
those
cool.
big time offensive
It can
linemen,
recruit. It can
back.
recruit some corn feds out the Midwest.
Right, and that's
Down
what you
south.
want,
Yeah.
right, and down south, right. That's
Mm-hmm.
correct. So
Hey, let my
that's what
boy.
gives
Hold
me
on.
the confidence.
Hold on. Let my
Mm-hmm.
boy Chris cook. Chris just hopped up in here. What's up, Christian?
Chris, what's going on?
What's up, Chris?
What's going on? What's going
What
on,
up,
fellas? Can
though?
you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
sir. Mr. San Diego.
Man, I'm caught up. I'm hitting in because it's breaking news. I'll just listen. I'm trying to figure what's going on. I see Elijah Who's on the screen. I know the Branch brothers in the portal. What's this? The offensive line coach going to? Did you just say? B? Brian, did you say the offensive line coach is gone?
Yeah, I got the news from Carter.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Henson going to Purdue.
Yeah,
Get his
he
ass
going
up
to
out of here,
Purdue.
though. We good.
This all breaking news to me. I'm just hopping on because Carter went with
What
the
you think
breaking
about
news. So,
what you think about the O line coach leaving? What do you think about that?
man, that right there, I'm not. I mean, I don't have a problem with nobody, but I'm not sad to go because I don't think the lineman.
You ain't shed no tears for him.
Yeah, I didn't think the line was
Right.
doing what they were supposed to do. I mean, his last this class this year he did good as far as recruiting, but as far as on the field and them developing, I haven't seen that since he's been here. So
Yep.
I'm Elijah with our situation as far as along the defensive line. I mean the Elijah Hughes. I'm like dang, we losing even more depth.
Mm-hmm.
The Branch brothers, of course, out of the two, Zachariah is the bigger punch. But I understand it because I mean, as far as I've been saying with our wide receivers all year, outside of Lehman, we have no wide receiver who could run the whole route tree. You know what I'm saying? And so, in the production and what we've seen this year, so I could see he probably leaving because his brother's leaving. So that that makes sense. And I'm with Brian. I think I understand. I'm with Brian. I agree the direction that Riley is going is building this team more to compete in the Big Ten and not having four wide receivers, trying to get the offensive line and defensive line built up, win in the trenches, right? And have two good wide receivers, and a tight end and a third receiver you can bring in, but not waste all the money on high priced wide receivers. I think that's what Riley's doing. But I don't know the gentleman who asked Brian, are you okay with that? Do you see him going in that direction? My only thing is what we've done in the portal so far, it's not
Nothing.
adding up. It's not adding up to that. Like I understand what he's doing, but I feel better once we get those key defensive linemen and offensive linemen in. Because if we're losing all these players and we're still not winning in the portal and the NIL deal to get the offense and defensive linemen that we need, then what are we doing? So I would feel a lot. I mean, I understand where they're going. I think it's a good model, but I would feel a lot better when I actually see us getting those defensive offensive linemen in there that we need. At some point, we got to start moving forward, and we're not seeing it right now. We're just saying leave. Outside of one corner, we haven't seen anything been addressed yet. And I know they got some people visiting, and these defensive linemen, offensive linemen, they're gonna come with a high ticket. But if we're freeing up all this cap space, at some point we got to start winning. We got to start winning the bidding war.
Agreed.
Yep. Hey, Chris,
Agreed.
what do you think about in the aspect of like, okay, we letting all the players leave, we not getting into the portal, but we got the kids coming into the portal, and I guess this is for the whole, this is for everybody on the live. what do you guys think about when the kids come in? Because it seems like all these other programs, when they get in the top elites to come in, and these kids are coming to USC first.
Well,
So
I think
they're coming to USC first, and we not, and then they leaving and going to transfer somewhere else.
well, I think that's the biggest problem is that they're coming to USC first. That's the biggest problem. We lose our leverage. We come, we give them a deal, and all the next school is gonna say is, "What are they offering you?" And they gonna beat it. And then at that point, now we're in the bidding war because they come back and say, "Well, so and so is wanting to give me this." So now the coaches NIL, they're in the situation of like, do we want to go down this path? You know what I'm saying? Of having to outbid. If you wanted to be here, you will be here. But if you look at it, why is everybody coming to us first? And we're not winning them because they're just leaving to go somewhere else. So
Right.
either we're going to have to offer them a big bag off top that nobody wants to compete with, or we're going to have to stop letting them come in first and play the game everybody else is playing where, oh, no, you take those visits first, then you come see us, and then
I
outbid
agree
them.
with that. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
because
I agree with that.
the real negotiation is
It's
being
the
what
last
it
one.
seems like, especially from Oregon's perspective, is like go everywhere else and then come to us last, and we'll either match it or give you a better, or we'll put a little, we'll put a little something on it.
Right, because
Right.
if you notice, everybody, when they set the visit, look who they set the visit last. It's always Oregon is the last team they go see. When they be
Mm.
like, so they're visiting
All
here,
right.
they're visiting here, and they're scheduled to go visit Oregon on this. Oregon is always, if they're not the last, they're the second to last. But most of the time, I'm looking at these big star people. Oregon is the last school that they're going to.
The only one we grabbed last that went to Oregon in his last visit and came to us was Joakim Stewart.
No, yeah, he went to Oregon, then he canceled his trip to
Yeah, then he canceled
back
his
to
trip, and then he
LSU.
was like, "Okay, no, I'm just gonna go with SC." But that's because Coach Henny had the plug. With that's his boy. He gonna go. He gonna get
True.
coached up right. A lot of these kids ain't looking at getting coached up right and everything. And I ain't mad at them. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not mad at the kids 17, 18, 19 years old getting paid and doing what they got to do because they should have been getting paid for years. But at the same time, like the university has to adapt.
Hmm.
So the key is to change up the strategy,
Okay.
help
Right.
them out,
Stop,
right?
stop, stop being so anxious and bringing them in first because that's not working. That like you can get so excited where you like, oh, this kid's important, let's get him in first, and we gonna woo him with LA and the staff and all that. And we seen that's work to get their commitment, but when they leave and they're going five other places who's gonna offer them more money, they decommit. How about we be one of the last that they visit so it's fresh on their mind, right?
Right. And
Mm.
then
Father, what
also
you think
like
about
what they
that?
did. I mean, it's a negotiation. A lot of these kids got agents. So it's
Right.
like, dang, these kids is high school. Like, they in high school, 16, 15, 16, 17 years old, have an agent already negotiating a deal for what they're gonna get paid. And then a lot of it too is I think what happens is a lot of times Oregon is waiting, they're recruiting you, but what they're doing, and this is for the high school recruits, they're recruiting you, but they're also waiting until the last end of the signing day before a signing day to offer the kids because a lot of these kids they're renegotiating their contract or renegotiating what they're doing based on they balled out their senior year. So we got all this class from California. That class is going to be way different. What we got to pay him at the end of the year. If RJ Sermons goes and balls out, he gonna want a different deal. If that kid Matt Reardon, he balled out his senior year. He had what, like 10 interceptions or something this past year as a junior. What if he gets 12 or even matches the 10?
Now this is
He
what I
gonna
can
want
say
to.
about this is what I can say for most of the kids that's gonna be true. But Matt Reardon, he 100% he locked in.
Mm.
He's
I
not gonna
think
be one of the kids that decommit. I think Matt Reardon, he's locked in.
I think he
Right.
just giving an example. I think he just giving an example.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But we have kids also just like, and this is the crazy part about the narrative that's pushed against SC. And I'm sure all of us could agree to this, is that with USC, it's a negative perspective given on USC because you see kids, they should have a higher star rating. Like Gorse Cordova, should be a 5-star, like hands down.
Okay.
But they're not going to give him that 5-star, not only because of the situations he had in high school, but also because of the fact he committed to SC. When Juju Lewis was here, it's like we gave him negotiation power.
Yeah, right. It just like I was saying, I heard Christian talking about it. We got to come in last. We want to be the last team you visit, so we could know what we competing against. Teams is coming to us to start their bidding war, right? To start their prices out. So you go to the teams who don't bid as high first, and then when you get to Oregon and Ohio State, you tell them what they gotta beat. So kids is using us to bid. That's why I was telling B Jinx, we shouldn't even go after no players if we ain't feel like they good enough to bid on. Right? And every player we should come last with. We don't want your first visit. We want your last visit. And it looked bad when we getting players transferring to us than transferring out. Like all of this hopping in the portal make us look more dysfunctional when we got all our players and our transfers hopping back in the portal. We got to change our whole approach.
Yeah, I think you got a great point, man, because you're right. I don't know how they would pull that off, but, because they have to see enough players and they can't wait too late and mess around and lose out. So it's not an easy game to play, but I get what you're saying, though, because you definitely want to show up last and, be able to at least, $1 more than the last dude.
And when I mean show up last, I mean when you talking to these players and you scheduling the visit, be like schedule us last. I ain't talking about like be last to contact them and recruit them and show them love.
No, I understand.
I'm just saying be the last one to make your pitch.
Yeah, schedule a visit towards the fourth quarter of the period rather than in the first quarter.
Yeah, or play the game, right? Play the game they played it. If you gonna see them first, and you have a feeling that that these kids are using you for leverage, okay, throw them an amount that's lower than what you want, and let them go to the other schools. Then come up to the number that you want, because it's probably gonna be higher than that number.
Right.
Okay.
So you already have a set number, but you go them lower, and then now when they like, oh, okay, cool, they're gonna go to this school actually offering the number that I was gonna give them, and I'll throw them a little bit more at that number.
There you go. Because what's happening is, it's not like the schools are saying, come to Oregon, oh, we ready to throw the first thing they're asking is what are they offering?
Right.
I know that kid from Alabama that was talking about, actually he had jumped in the portal, and I want to say Lane gave him offered him a 7-figure deal. He ended up staying, I guess Bama had to match that 7-figure deal, that cornerback in Barkway.
Oh, okay. So he's staying at Bama then? Is that the DB?
Yeah, he's staying.
So we got Vic and John feel like USC got the money. B Jinx, I don't know how he feel about the money situation. Christian, what you think? You think we trying to be a fucking wise guy, like think we so fucking smart with this playing this game, or we low on money, bro? Like, what is it like?
I don't think our NIL budget is not the budget of Oregon, Ohio State, and all that. So they got to be wise with the money. I think nationally our NIL ranks somewhere in between the 15th and 17th in the nation.
Okay, so
that means
the best way to look at it is what does it cost for an international kid to go to Oregon for tuition? Look at it what an international tuition it is to go to USC. It's probably like double. So they got the money, and you got to look at what the donor perspective is.
Well, the NIL has nothing to do with like the tuition. Don't pay, like what I'm saying.
If the university is willing to put in, and the university has the donors, what is the football program, which is the height of the program, right? What brings any school throughout the whole United States, that brings the money into the school, the football program. Other than when you go to like somewhere like Kentucky or Duke, like Duke, full basketball, but that's bringing in money, but it's not, you don't have to put as much out. But it's like, what do you have to do and look at the numbers from like, what is it, that we have to do to be the top tier program? Because, and to get the donors, there's something that's going on within the university to where their donors aren't dropping money because they got Yale money. They got Harvard money. They got Ivy League school money. All the Ivy League schools are higher paid than other than probably USC and Stanford and probably like Vanderbilt. But like those are the only, or Cal too. They got a lot of money too. But it's like Cal not putting it in because that's a research school. They're not putting money in like that. Like, and for their football program, they don't really care. But what do you have to get? What do you have to do? You got to switch it. And SE is a football program. You got to switch them to care to give the money. For them to have a donor pay $50 million just for a facility, what do you have to do to talk? Maybe he was like the one who tried to step up to try to give money to understand. Like, okay, we got the facility. I pay $50 million. Let's say B Jinx, you pay $50 million for the facility, right?
Right.
And then I'm like, hey, listen, I'm gonna give 40 million to the players, right? To the transfer portal.
Right.
Let's say B Jinx. Let's say Chris is like, well, I'm gonna give another 20 million for the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. Let's say Uncle Vic like, hey, I'm gonna give another 10 million to help him out with the NIL deals. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Let's say Carter like, hey, listen, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna pay 20 million to put these kids in some fly ass shit and a car they ain't never seen before.
Mm-hmm. But that's the catcher, because we're talking about two different things now.
No, it's about a perspective of how do you bring in everybody together.
Hey, check this out.
The question was, do we have the money in the NIL budget? So we was on a call the other day. Someone actually brought up the list, showed us the list of where the NILs ranked in college football. Ours are somewhere between 15 and 17, right? Which means our money is nowhere near the top teams in what's name. Now, do we say?
I don't think you'll ever really know that point because USC is a private university.
Hold on. Look, check this out. USC got the money. I'm reading this shit right here. Right? It say the University of Southern California has an endowment fund that's invested in a variety of assets, right, including private equity, venture capital, global stocks and bonds, internal return strategy. Facts. The endowment is a vital source of income for the university that grows over time. As of June 30th, 2024, USC endowment was $1 billion. Right? So fuck all this shit. USC just bullshitting. That is bullshitting.
But we're talking about, do they have the funds in NIL?
That's the bullshit. Hold on. I knew you was gonna say that. I know. Do y'all think that the NCAA? All right, look, that's why I read this. It say they have assets in private equity, so they could take money out of this money right here. Mm-hmm. Under whatever business they got and say this is the NIL deal for this player from this company, right? Y'all don't think these other schools is spending some of you think they all spending, you think Michigan collective this cost up 10 million and none of that came from the university itself, bro? Right. You think they really gave 10 million to one player out of they collect? And Michigan is not a big spender like Ohio State. Michigan is up there, they like on our level. Michigan is why you think Harbaugh took so long to build that championship team. He would have been won a chip. But they money ain't like Ohio State's. So if you think, oh, that's collective money, I'm sorry. And I don't give a damn if it was. If I'm USC, I'm spending our money and putting it in as a collective under one of our businesses. The NCAA can't do shit. I explained to y'all the other live where the federal court said the NCAA is some fucking criminals, and if they would work the normal business, if this wasn't sports, that they will all be in fucking jail. The federal court is never going to side for the NCAA over these players in the university. They just not. So USC ain't got to worry about the NCAA saying, oh, y'all niggas on probation because y'all gave y'all money to this player and it wasn't NIL. They can't do it. All you need is a business, or they could slide Dr. Dre some money and be like, say you gave this kid a deal. We'll give you some money for that. Let them sign the Dre beats, Dre. But you ain't really got to pay him shit. We already gave him the money. Let him shoot one commercial, do a photo shoot, and we cool. They could do that shit, bro.
Yep.
They could do that shit.
Yeah.
And here's what I'm saying, and I agree with you. But I guess I misunderstood the question because we're talking two different things. I thought the question was, do we have the money in our NIL budget and not using it? So the answer to that question is that our NIL is not where it's supposed to be financially. Now, the second question that you guys are bringing in is, do we have access to more resources that we can use to build the NIL? And the answer to that is yes, because we have a lot of rich people that come from out that school, the access and things that you just named. So we're talking about two different scenarios here. So I was confused to the question. I thought the question we were talking about, do we have money in our NIL budget right now to compete with these other schools? And the answer to that, I was saying, was no, because we ranked in the lower teens nationally as far as our current NIL. But do we have resources that we can use, and people, if we can get them to donate and get the school to invest in the football? Then the answer to that question is yes.
They can straight come out the university, bro. Do you know? And I'm gonna let I'm gonna let Uncook after this one too, because he gonna be like, oh yeah. Bro, do you know how much shit they own?
Oh shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They don't even need no fucking.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what they own down there, bro? You know them high-rise buildings is going up in downtown LA and all that. That's USC. Do you know all the even K-Town? They call it Koreatown, Chinatown, all downtown LA. Like everything that goes on over there straight come from that university.
USC owns skyscrapers. It's a skyscraper right down to say USC big on this shit.
Yep.
Don't y'all know Oregon Phil Knight? He building communities for the families to live in.
That's right.
Do the same shit. They can rent out all they fucking apartments that they got downtown, all them skyscrapers that they own, bro. All I'm saying is we could funnel this money through NIL, and we not doing it.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's what I was saying with that, because they have the money, they have the resources. If you look at their graduate list and you see where they are now and see what their asset base is, there's very few places that can touch USC. But then that's where you go back to the connections, right? Like you have to, one of the things that USC seems to have missed out on over the last, say, 10 years or so is that they are not maintaining the USC brand as a community. They doing fine as far as putting up buildings and owning all of downtown Los Angeles and even cleaning up, certain areas, obviously at the expense of some of the, the people that been there forever and ain't gonna get shit out of it, but that's another conversation. But they gonna own that whole entire, 10-mile circle around their university is gonna end up in their hands. So it's not like they have the resources. What they don't have, though, is a culture that allows for them to maintain the ties that have bound them together for all those years. If you go back to like the John Robinson years and you go back to the John McKay years, it's like they owned LA and everybody wanted to be a part of it. Now it's just a whole bunch of pieces, most of which are brought in from somewhere else. So until they can kind of fix that, I don't know how they gonna manage to pull this off. They got to pull in somebody who has the capacity to, bring everybody together, create a vision for what USC can stand for, and just take the town back like they had it back in the day, right? Because right now, we disjointed. We ain't even got nobody to root for but the Dodgers, and black folks don't root for the Dodgers like that. We like the Dodgers, but it ain't like, But when SC is popping, or when the Lakers is on championships, those whoever's in charge owns LA at that period of time, and USC has the capacity to be doing that. They just, for whatever reason, can't seem to pull it together right now.
Yes, LA is wide open for the taking.
Wide open.
Wide open for the taking. And we ain't taking advantage. So, like I was saying a couple of lives ago, the people who run in our university, they just about business, right?
Yep.
They billionaire and they want their money. So they look at the bottom line and shit. Long as they profiting, they don't give a fuck what the football team do.
Nope. Yeah, you got to
Right.
sell them. You got to sell them on something that's bigger, a vision, because, one of the things that rich people, once they have enough money, the thing that's important is legacy. The thing that is important is to be remembered in the community as somebody that was high octane, not regular, that made a difference, whose name is going to go down in history. That's the kind of shit they like to hear, right? USC has the capacity to create that environment for them. But again, like right now, it's a bunch of disjointed pieces coming in from all over the place. And there's just not that, you don't get the sense that that's that unified culture that we need right now. But like you said, USC is wide open. Just come and get it.
And I don't know why they don't understand that you going to get your money back that you spend. If you start willing, the Coliseum will be packed out. You're going to be able to raise ticket prices. I mean, motherfuckers already used to paying them high-ass Laker prices, so LA even got the money for high ticket prices.
Right.
The stadium will be filled
with no team.
Right? I think they make like $1 million, $2 million just off parking during the game. Like,
yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
remember, Carter, when we was rolling to the game, it was like, no, we all going to roll in one truck to go down there because how much they charge it for parking is ridiculous.
Exactly. And people paying it. So you got to think, USC start winning, you're going to get them extra 2 games because we're going to be in the playoffs. Them extra 2 games by itself is in the double digits of millions when you make it to the playoffs. You making like 10 million extra money for your university. And it's off the football merit, so the football team going to get the portion of that. So you're going to make the money back just like the Dodgers. Like they spent all that money on dude. They already made it back this year. They 50 million plus already from his contract. They gave him what, 700 million, something like that. They already made that money back plus 50
million. Toddy?
Yeah, for Toddy. So the LA market, and I know he got Japan, that helps a lot. But what I'm saying is if USD start winning, like when Reggie Bushman was at USC was making a killing.
Oh, they was making a killing. And they had 100,000 in the stands all the time. I was going to those games. That shit was ridiculous.
Even against Fresno State, it don't matter who we played, it was packed out, max capacity.
And just to piggyback on what you said, Carter, when I was over there in New York, I was there when LA had came to New York. I was wanting to go to the New York Yankees to watch the game. They was charging $2,800 for a nosebleed seat.
And people was paying it.
They was paying it like no problem.
People was paying it.
Because they're like, this is a once time in lifetime experience. Like, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
And think about it, college football is basically damn near up there with NFL as far as ratings and how much it get watched.
Yeah.
So the Rams.
And with the Chargers being trash and like, the Rams is mediocre. Like,
So LA is starving for a football king, and LA, this how much they look at it like, oh, they fair weather. Okay, you right. But damn, if the weather good, it's hella good. It's packed out. It's hella good. Stars at the game. Yep. And then so many more sponsors gonna want to give our players NIL deals because they're gonna be like, damn, they ain't that spotlight of LA.
The exposure.
That exposure.
Yep.
So players value NIL gonna come up just for committing to us because okay, you at USC is popping. When USC popping, it's the center of the universe. Because you know why? We the blue blood on the West Coast, and everybody else love to hate us, and people watch what they hate.
Exactly. That's why leagues have particular flagships because, like, for example, you can look at Notre Dame, right? Nobody likes Notre Dame, but college football is better when Notre Dame is good because everybody now wants to whip their ass, right?
Exactly.
So, and SC has that same sort of way, right? Everybody wants to beat USC's ass when they popping, and we're supposed to be popping every single year. Where we're the one win you can get that makes your whole season.
It's just like going to watch a Floyd Mayweather fight.
Yep.
What's up, my boy D Cardinal and Gold? That's you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's happening?
Hey, I gotta drop off for a minute. I'll be back.
All right.
I wanted to ask you guys a question, kind of see which one you guys kind of prefer. Can I do that, Carter?
Man, do what you do. You know you my boy.
So one, what rule would you rather go with first? One, no transfer portal before bowl games, or when you sign with a college and then you renege, a percentage, there's a fee taken out your future NIL winnings or earnings. Which one do you think you guys would rather side with moving forward?
Bowl game easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the other one cost the kids more.
But do you think in a business market, just like if all of us were at a job market, we can't just sign jobs and sign paperwork and then not show up?
We could.
But isn't there always some penalties?
Not necessarily. I mean, if you come to
Other
a
than
job
get
and you got a better offer, shit, you don't have to show up on the first day. They can be mad. They can try to, talk smack about you and give you a bad name in the public or whatever it is. But there's not much that they can do other than be mad. But I think that there's a part of it that I like, and that is that once you make a commitment, everybody can marshal to do what they do, and you don't leave people hanging, and you don't leave organizations out there pissing in the wind. I agree with that right there. But on the other side, though, the NCAA has had the power forever. Like they've made billions of dollars on these kids' backs. So, for the time being, I'm cool if there's a little bit of a correction. But in terms of having the not being able to transfer before the bowl games, because I think the bowl games get shook up, and it affects the entire sport. And for people who are on the fringes, I think it leaves a bad taste in their mouth about, disloyalty and all of that stuff like that. If you ain't never seen the kid play and he decides to go someplace else, then, you never saw him play anyway. But if he is a key ingredient in what you're trying to do, you getting ready to go to a bowl game, and now this kid decides that and he just decides to transfer, and somebody don't let him play or do whatever. Now it affects everything. It affects the team, it affects the university, it affects the fan base, everything. I'm glad you brought that up too, because I was thinking about that the other day. That's the one I would go with. That's the one I would change.
Well, here's the thing about transferring in the portal prior to bowl games. Let's be honest. Outside of the playoff, bowl games are really not really important anymore. And so, because there's no difference than a kid transferring before the bowl game or kids sitting out because they're getting ready for the NFL draft, right? They're not playing. That's the end result. Players are not playing, right? So if you start saying you can't transfer before the bowl game, now we're opening up another can of worms. Okay, so they shouldn't be able to sit out, right? But here's the thing about the portal, and this even NIL. The issue is that it was all brought out too fast, and nobody came to the table and really thought about this thing and thought it through, and the pros and cons. And there's no safeguards, no regulations, or nothing on it. That's the biggest problem. My thing with the portal, because the numbers had came out where there's something like almost 2,000 kids in the portal. 31% has previously transferred already.
Okay.
So my issue was the portal. There's no regulation thing. It used to be you couldn't transfer unless you was a grad transfer, or you had to sit out a year. That's what stopped people from entering the portal like crazy right now. But then they took that off. So what I would do to the portal is, for one, even with NIL, I would move to contracts. Right, that'd be the first thing for NIL contracts. You're signing on for this many years, or if it's 1 year, if it's 2 years, however much, you sign contracts on the portal. On the portal, after you transfer once, you can't transfer again without a penalty or having to sit out a year. Like people there's people who've been in college 3 years and transferring for the third time. Like,
did you guys hear about Romello Height? He's in the transfer portal again.
Yeah.
oh,
yeah.
Well, I saw it. Like I was getting my hair cut the other day. It's cool. Like for like literally, we chopped it up for an hour. I don't know if you guys know who Dalen McCutcheon is.
Yep.
Yeah, I know who Dalen is.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I'm chopping it up with Dalen, and I was asking him about all this. I was like, "Have you been on campus?" He was like, "No." And I'm like, I was like, "What you think about this whole portal situation?" He was like, "Well, the kids don't value no more what it is to have an education." And I'm like, "What?"
I'm
He was
willing
like,
to discuss that.
"Huh?"
I'm willing to discuss that angle too, because there's a lot of
Yeah. So he talking to me about his son, and I got you, my boy. Don't trip. Like I got you. I'm gonna bring you in right now. So he's telling me, he's like, "Hey, listen, my son went up to Washington. I wanted my son to go to SC, so that's where I went. But you know, the program is in a hoots right now." I was like, "For real?" I was like, "What do you think about Lincoln Riley?" He disagreed with that. And then we were talking, and I was like, he was like, "Listen, man, with this portal situation," he's like, "I'm not mad at the kids getting their money because I can only imagine what I would have gotten being the number one recruit in the whole nation.
Yeah.
When I was coming out of high school."
Yeah.
He was like, "If I was coming out of high school right now, like," he was like, "but listen, these kids, they don't have no loyalty." He's like, "But the main thing is most of them are not going to the league."
Yeah.
And then they jumping around program to program to try to be able to be like, "Oh, well, you know, I can go over here and ball," and then the coaches to give them a little bit over here the ball, or you know, they could go to Washington the ball, or they could go to San Jose State, get some money, or they can go to, you know, Texas A&M and get some money. He was like, "But the thing about it is the kids is not getting the education. So if a kid's bouncing around 3 or 4 times through the portal, he's not getting a degree. So he don't understand." He's like, "That's why I feel like USC is missing it."
Yeah,
well,
that's
Man,
this is
the
what
fans, hold on. The fans, they doom and gloom in the comments, bro. The fans,
What
they
they
out
say?
on Riley, bro. They say Riley ain't even trying. He at his house watching the ocean view, kicked up with his feet up.
Exactly. See, that's what I'm saying.
And then they talking about rumors about Cam Fountain. I'm like, now if Cam Fountain leave, I'm burning down the campus myself.
Yeah.
Do you realize? Do you realize where he stays is where? Okay, so up there in Rancho Palos Verdes, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, Donald Trump. He stays in that area.
Right. Where they all got houses. They don't stay there, but they got houses there.
No, mansions
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. My
overlooking the whole area, right? So
yeah.
it's a different type of perspective. Like, and it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of like a knock in the face to bring the kids up there, because it's like, oh, you can have this, but like you got this over. All right, I'm gonna keep it 300.
Yes.
Is that
But
cool?
that's the point I was making earlier. But yeah, I know exactly where you're going with this.
All right, so I'm gonna keep it $3 with everybody, right? If you go up there and you a high school kid and you like, damn, he's sitting up here like this, you know, with an elevator in a house and got the everything going on, and he making 10, 11, $12 million a year, house paid off, $30 million crib. Y'all know what a $30 million crib up there look like? I don't know if you know, I have a cabinet minutes, but I know what that shit look like. It's different. And it's like when you looking at it in the broader perspective, you bring them up there, and they're all by the gloom. They're all like, "Oh, this is awesome! You're overlooking the whole ocean." And then you got the ocean view at night, but then and I mean you got the ocean view during the day, but you got the whole city view at night. That's an amazing thing. That's great. But then when you come down on campus, and he's not putting you in the positions to get that, it makes it different.
Yep, because he bringing you to the hood.
Yeah, exactly. You're going home to the hood.
His house. Yep.
So like when I was learning about how like back in recruiting back in the day, you know how what's his name was getting them Nick Saban, Nick Saban be taking the kids out on like a boat ride to go fishing on the lake, Mississippi River. Hanging out, kicking it with you, getting to know who you are, your family, you know. Yeah, like just chilling with you. Like, okay, I got me a cool little pad.
Shit that they know they can reach and have, you know, and in their lifestyle, and that makes sense because they can associate themselves to something like that. It seems possible. Yeah, you can go greater than that, but you know, at least now I got a vision, something that I can see and hold and taste for myself, right? I think they did this service to the school with what they did for Lincoln Riley. I think that shit is out of touch, and I think he out of touch, and I think that's costing them more than anything.
Yeah, because
are you saying the salary that they gave Lincoln Riley?
Yep. What is it, like 11 million?
Yeah.
I mean, to defend that though, we were screaming and yelling after the years of Helton, right? You know, we were, you know, we were demanding a splash hire, and there weren't a lot of coaches out there.
Yeah, well, that's still.
There was only one guy that was rumored that we could go at, but they said the, you know, some of his controversy background, or you know, just a couple little things here and there, and it didn't gel with the president that we had, and I'm talking about Urban Meyer.
So well, you know what? The money, though, is not really the thing. Like, one, I definitely think they overpaid him. The way they paid him, though, leaves him very little flexibility. And he is now in the driver's seat. You always want to at least have the same leverage that the coach has, but they literally gave away the leverage with the contract, the way they designed that contract for Lincoln Riley. And he knows it. The kids know it. Everybody knows it. The alumni know it. You know, so if there's some alumni that he's not vibing with, they not rolling with him.
Well, we've seen it done 3 times already this season with Gundy at Oklahoma State. The coach at Notre Dame did it. Another coach just did it. He can, if he wanted to, he can restructure and give some of the money back. We've seen 3 programs do that. But that's on Lincoln Riley. I'm not gonna tell a man what to do with his finance. Another man to do.
You're not gonna tell me what to do with my $110 million.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, so if the university wanted to, they can have the discussion to renegotiate the contract. You know, but that's between him and the university. But I did want to touch on one thing. I did want to touch on one thing about the kids not valuing education these days. I don't know if they ever did. I mean, let's be honest. If you listen to all the greats, I know me personally, I wasn't going to college if I wasn't playing football. I was going to college to play football. I wasn't going to get an education. Most football players, I can't speak for all of them, but I say a great deal of football players are not going to school for education. They're going to play football because they see that as their only way out, right? But now making it to the NFL is not their only way out. If I can transfer 3 schools and get more money, I know I ain't going to the NFL, but I ain't worried about education, because if I can get me 5-10 million before I get out of college, all I got to do is manage that right. I'm straight for the rest of life.
I'm not getting 5-10 million if you jump around colleges like that, though.
Well, I mean, you get that to be comfortable.
And to set yourself up, you know, in a society. I don't mean to cut you off, but in a society that is moving away from that whole model of where you're going to get this education, you're going to go to work for a company for 40 years, they're going to take care of you, give you a pen. Those days are over. So you need to find a way, like we talking about, where you can start off with a stack that you can convert into business ownership, into real estate and other investments, and that you can parlay. Because the model that existed in the past, where you had to get this education, you had to go and work under the thumb of somebody who may or may not be on your team like that. You know, you may have to deal with all this shit you have to deal with, not be with your children and all that, you know, for 40 years and then get a gold watch and a pension. Those days are over. Shit, companies ain't even keeping you that long no more. You know, they letting your ass out the door as soon as they can find somebody that can do your job for half the price. So the dynamics have changed. So, you know, that's a great point you brought up. I'm with you. Stack your money, get some good applied knowledge, you know, some good, you know, direct knowledge, because you can right now learn a skill set that can pay you forever. right? You don't have to go to college for 4 years, and make, 100 something thousand. Shit, they got kids on YouTube's making $1 million.
Right. Hey, Dale Wise said he canceled his Vegas tickets. You know what I'm saying? People
Oh, for the
canceling
game?
pay
Yeah,
this.
remember? Yeah,
You know
we were
what
talking
I'm
about
saying?
that,
Hey, we
Carter.
about to get
Yeah.
free tickets. Hey, you probably get a USC ticket right now for cheap.
You get it for 20, 30, 40, $50. They selling them outside of the damn stadium for $25. Like, I can get a real ticket. I don't got to get it online and pay 150, 200 and all that. Like,
Right,
and
right.
I'm gonna tell you how crazy this shit is when it comes to the USC fan base, right? And what it is. So,
Uh-huh.
like, we got tickets. We had the game with Carter. We was at the game, right? Carter's over there. I went over there to the donor section. I'm like, bro, this slide over here. Ain't nobody staying in none of this section. He was like, for real? I was like, man, we at the
Right.
50-yard line. We at the 50-yard line.
Man, smooth. They was like the perfect seats.
Yeah. Yeah.
The season ticket holders wasn't even coming. They were selling their tickets, not even coming. So I moved to where John was sitting. I was behind the goalpost at first. I was behind the end zone. John, like, come over here. I'm at the 50-yard line. Like in the middle of the field. I'm like, what? That's the view you want.
Nice.
Go over there, number rich white folks over there.
Right. Right.
But it was open seats.
Yeah.
And them seats was season ticket holders.
We could have had the whole squad over there. Like, for real, I could have had 10, 15 dudes over there. Like, easily. And it's like, damn, this is how it is at SC. Because when I went to SC, well, I didn't go to SC, but when I used to go to the games back in the day, it was sold out. And people used to come to the games early. Now, SC, they come in like the Big Ten, they get to the game 10 minutes. They get in the stadium, sit down 10 to 15 minutes. They want to see the whole team come out. They want to rock the whole thing. They trying to be on ESPN or Fox, all of that, right?
Uh-huh.
When we there at the game, bro, people don't be coming into the games, especially at the Coliseum. They don't come into the game till like mid first quarter.
They sure do, and they try to blame on it, saying that it's hard getting into the stadium. Nah, just come earlier.
Well, yeah, easy work.
Just come earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, like well, the things have changed in regards to like
But if
getting
you
in,
win, though,
ticketing.
if you win, LA gonna come though.
It changed,
But
Carter. That's it. That's it. If we win, it changes everything. That's
It changes everything.
LA,
win
Everything
on
changes when you win.
LA.
I would want to change the perspective to where it's like y'all come early, but and y'all can leave early too, because we done blown them out.
That way.
Yeah.
That's how I would want to do it. I got everybody to pay. Everybody came in, and yeah, they left. They left in the mid of the third quarter, end of the beginning of the fourth, because we blew them out.
Yep.
So what y'all think the rest of the portal looking like? Y'all think we finna keep losing players, or we got a plan and we got
There's more
targets,
coming.
and there's more players leaving?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about it is
What's that?
all the players that we kind of had a feeling will go into the portal, and that we've been hearing rumblings about are the players that went into the portal. So I mean, we seen it happen, and it's kind of like we was hopeful that since it's been stringed along and they ain't went yet, they ain't gonna go. But we kind of had the writings on the wall already and been hearing the rumors that it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I didn't see Ray John Davis leaving because this was his year. He could have got playing time. He might have been the starter this year. So I didn't see Ray Sean leaving. I didn't see
I
none
already
of our
knew Ray
defensive
John was
players
going to leave
leaving,
once
bro.
he went
I
into
didn't
the
see
red
Sam
shirt.
Green. I didn't see Sam Green leaving either. Now I seen Miller Moss, and then we heard about the receivers. Some of the receivers was leaving, but besides that, I didn't expect none of this. I didn't expect.
I expected so not giving sources anything, but I had heard a while that there was a great possibility about Davis leaving, so that's why I wasn't surprised when when he left. And
Right.
even with Branch and all them, it was rumors and stuff going around. So what I mean, it wasn't a total shock. But once Branch was still in there, I was like, okay, well, Deuce Robinson left. I was like, okay, so we might be straight with Branch. They might have talked him into staying and all that. But I think the Branch situation was more about going with his brother. I think that was more into the decision than him just being unhappy here or with his role.
Yeah.
You know, your word is your
I
bond.
didn't see any defensive player leaving though, to be honest with you. Because
Your word is your
all the
bond,
players
though.
we got, all the players that we got that's going into the draft, I thought them other dudes was gonna be like, yeah, okay, this gonna be our team now. Like the whole secondary leaving, you got 2 starting linebackers leaving, you got like 4 defensive linemen leaving. I don't see why nobody would want to leave on the defense, and I don't see how USC ain't got the money to pay him either. All
Well,
the players
here's
we
my
got going into the draft.
here's my fear, and here my fear is that like I said last year, A plus effort, F in execution as far as the portal, and that's my biggest fear this year because what I really think is happening, and that's why we can't miss on the portal.
Yeah.
When I played college football, at the end of the year, the first thing you did before you cleaned out lockers, anything, what I'm saying, got your little break before spring ball at it, you had a meeting with your position coach. Once you left the meeting with your position coach, you have a meeting with the head coach, and you have your meeting with your position coach. They go over with you through about the year, and then next year, like if they see you playing next year, or we bringing these guys in for JUCO, or these guys, or they basically laying out what your role. If it's we only see you contributing on special teams, they give you all the real deal, so you can have all the information you need to make a decision if you coming back or where you going to transfer out of school or not play or what. Or they might just tell you that we're not going to renew your scholarship. Like we don't have a spot for you. You know what I'm saying? And so what I think has happened is that in these position meetings, and when you go to your meeting with your head coach, he basically he be like, you had your meeting with your position meeting. How did it go? Like, what are your thoughts? Where do you see yourself? You want to stay and compete, or if they letting you go, they letting you go. And he said, thank you for your time. This, and that. So what I think happened is at the end of the year, they went into those meetings with position coaches. I'm sure the position coaches and the head coaches talked before those meetings. Then they went into the meeting with the head coach. And I think those meetings went something like, this is what we see. You might not process as well as we thought, or our plans is to move in this direction, somewhere that more fits our scheme, and we're going to be looking for bigger players at this, or blase. But the issue with that comes in is that if you're going to do that again, you can't have an A plus effort in the portal and F in execution. You got to execute it. You got to bring in the players that you saying you moving on for these players for. If a defensive end is undersized for the scheme that you want, and you letting him go, you got to be 100% sure that you bringing in somebody that's better than him, that fits the size, that can play. And right
Right.
now, my issue is that I understand the philosophy and where they're going from being in that position, and understand why some of these players are leaving, because I'm sure the coaches probably told them, we don't see much of a future you here, or you see in the field. We want you to be able to go somewhere to play, you know what I'm saying, where you can get the time and the money you want. But at the same time, my issue is that I don't see us executing the portal. Like, and
Yeah, I
I don't
feel
want
you.
us to
Look,
just
you make me think about what you just saying is USC is like fucking Rob Pelinka and the Lakers when it comes to free agency and shit.
Oh
oh
my
my
God, let's go.
You know what I'm saying? The Lakers always gonna
bad.
get
That's bad.
everybody,
That's
but get
bad, man. Don't say
nobody.
that. That's bad.
That's what it's starting to look like. It's just like you saying, A
That's
for
bad,
effort,
man.
F for execution. The Lakers try to get everybody, never get
Yeah.
nobody. Teams don't want to
That,
trade with us. They want a high ball.
Yep. Hey man,
man,
what
the
do you
Lakers got a big problem though that's holding them hostage, and people don't want to say it, but
LeBron
LeBron
James,
James is holding that franchise. He's holding that franchise
plus
hostage
sport.
because he could have renegotiated his contract before draft to where we could have made a trade and got some people in, but he held us hostage, and they was fear he wasn't gonna sign till after the draft till they drafted Bronny. And then he signed and didn't even take the cut, and we weren't able to bring nobody in. That's the biggest problem with the Lakers. And the front
And the
office is letting
No,
ahead.
man. See, this is a whole nother conversation. But,
In the-
but let me
So
go
they
ahead and
gonna go
open
off on
it
the
up. And
Lakers.
y'all on the wrong
Hey,
track with that. But
in the
go ahead.
Laker analogy, is Lincoln LeBron or is LeBron is Lincoln LeBron or is Lincoln Jeannie Buss?
Lincoln is Rob Pelinka.
For real, he the front office.
Yeah, Lincoln is Rob Pelinka.
For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? He ain't the top dude. He ain't Genie, but you know, he got enough position to screw everything up. But you know, I want to go back to some of what's going on with this is California, right? And you know, I live in the Midwest right now from California, so I know what you guys is paying for everything over there, right? Like I know what y'all paying for gas and food and everything over there, right? You know, Happy Meals is almost $20 and whatnot. Do you think that it affects some of these kids that's coming from some of these areas where they could get almost the equivalent amount of money, if not the same, and just have a complete different lifestyle? You know, because LA is a particular lifestyle. You know, it ain't for everybody. Have a completely different lifestyle, save a whole lot more money, you know, have a much more comfortable living, because LA is hectic as hell. You know, and that whole culture thing in Los Angeles, it's an acquired taste. Do you guys think that has any effect on why maybe some of these kids, you know, USC is in the hood, the whole nine? Do you think that maybe that has any effect on why some of these kids would be like, look, I'll take equal money, you know, and just have a different pace of life?
I actually think, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because, like, if you move out and you could get the equivalent of the money of what you'll get in LA, your money actually will go further. So it's like if LA is going to offer you, or USC is going to offer you, let's say, I mean, we'll just give a number out, 500,000. Well, in LA, my 500,000, that's like, that ain't nothing.
If
If
Michigan
I
offers you
go,
500,000, it's a whole different 500. Now it's 750.
well, let's just say, well, I'm just keeping that like a you know, just like a baseline. You know what I mean?
No, I'm talking
So
about
let's say
cost of
like
living. I'm talking about
500,000.
cost
But
of
if I go,
I'm talking about
what?
cost of living though. What you can get, you know, what 500,000 is worth in LA, it's worth 750,000. That same money's worth, you know, that much more living in a place like Michigan.
Well,
But I
no,
think
I'm gonna
cost of
tell you
living
right.
will come in play after. I think cost of
One
living.
question. Hold
Go ahead,
on, let me
John.
just finish this up, Chris. I got you, bro. You give me 500,000. I go to Michigan. I got a good mentor on my side. My 500, I'm making a year, right? It's gonna be way different because well, which a lot of these kids don't have. We'll admit that. But my 500, I'm like, oh well, you know, I only need 100. I could
Yeah.
go drop 400,000 and give me a couple apartment buildings.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? Being able to
Some
like
peace.
maximize my money with no taxes.
But I think the cost of living. I think
I'll go after you.
You going in real bad, Chris?
Yeah, Chris, your connection is lost, baby.
Yeah, you choppy right now. Your service choppy. You was in the
Am I?
matrix. Boop. Yeah, you on the screen, but your
Still
sound
choppy?
messed up.
No, I'm saying that. Am I still up?
Yeah, still
Yeah, a
doing
little
it.
bit. Yeah, it's still
Yeah,
doing
we can't make out what
Okay,
you're
y'all go
saying.
ahead then. Y'all go ahead. Okay,
That-
y'all go ahead then. Y'all go ahead.
Okay, you
No, we
sound
can hear
better
you
now.
now. We can hear
No,
you
you
now.
good now.
Okay. I was gonna say I think cost of living.
Oh, he dropped out for real this time. But what y'all
Uncle
think?
Vic,
Yeah,
go ahead and cook on what I just said.
Hold on. Let me say. Oh, you want to
go
cook
ahead.
on what he said, Vic?
Yeah,
Go
go ahead
ahead.
and let Vic cook on this one right here. I'm telling you.
No. But so I'm thinking, like, if I come to LA, right, and I've like I said, I live in the Midwest now. One of the reasons I like where I live is because of the pace of life, right? There's a whole lot less opportunity. There's a whole lot less restaurants, a whole lot less, and there's a whole lot of shit that's different, right? But there's a level of stress that you just do not experience. And if you're a kid that's come from areas, in the South and stuff like that, and you don't have that hectic pace, you don't know how to survive in that environment. You get to a place like LA, you making all that money, but now you got all of these distractions. Your focus is not there. You in traffic all the goddamn time. The school is in the hood. You have a whole lot of things that you got to adjust to. And, I'm seeing there has to be something underneath what is going on at USC, because it's a storied program. They bring in enough players. I mean, we over here, we complaining because we have a standard of USC that we want to see USC operate at, and that is competing for national championships every single year. Anything less than that, we not happy. But at the same time, some of these kids, they like, shit, I could, with this same money, I could buy my mom a house. I could buy myself a house. I can buy my sister a house. I can do all kind of shit that I can't even come close to doing here.
Right.
And I think that impacts their decision-making to some degree. As far as what USC can do, I think USC almost has to offer twice the amount of money than a lot of these other schools. You go to Alabama, for instance. Alabama that ain't even the competition between Alabama and USC. Because if Alabama gives you $500K and USC gives you $500K, shit. I'm staying in Alabama. I'm going to Alabama. Because I'm in Alabama, I can buy 13 goddamn mansions, where in LA I could buy one condo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then when I'm talking about parlaying my future, and I think as Brian was saying, about the education part, and I believe more in specific education as opposed to institutional education, because that's the way society is moving to. If I can put myself in position now where that same money is doing me 2, 3, 4 times the benefit of the same money being in LA versus someplace else in the country, LA got to double their money to keep me.
Right. So now that's a real negotiation.
Hold on. Before Vic even start cooking, I wanted to ask y'all. All right, I'm gonna drop the link, bro. I wanted to ask y'all if with all these players leaving, we already got 2 coaches out the door. Is y'all worried about any of our coaches leaving? Because I feel like our defensive coaches just gems. Like Matt Entz already left. I know we don't care about Henson, but players leaving and coaches leaving, do y'all fear that? And do y'all think it's an internal problem? Do y'all think it's a Riley thing, these coaches leaving? Like, what are y'all predicting with the coaching staff? Because that's what I'm really worried about. That will hurt more than any other players.
I'm confident
the staff we got, they gold. I want to keep them, especially Henny and Lynn.
Okay. I'm confident in the moves that Lincoln's making, because I feel he's desperate to prove his career. He has 1 year, to really get stuff going. So I think he made the right decisions with the defense.
Okay.
I think he has a great opportunity to hire a better O-line coach.
Okay.
Right. We can get somebody better. I mean, the NFL ranks or someone with a good track record. So in this short period of time, Carter, I'm confident, because not only does he has no other option than to hire the right people, but he's also showing a track record of hiring the good coaches, and everybody we've got in the portal. There's people we've missed on, but the people we've gotten in the portal, 90% of them have played well. There's only like one guy from Purdue that first year who was hot. He didn't bring anything to the table. But everybody who's come to the portal has been productive. I thought Cobb was decent. I mean, he wasn't a Buckets Award winner, but he was decent. Mascarenas, I thought he played well this year. He was solid. I think everyone he brings in, especially for the running backs, right? All the running backs have done well. So I'm confident.
Okay.
What's your name again?
So do you think? Hold on, let me ask. So do you think that's my boy D, the Cardinal and Gold? So
Yeah, no,
you on the
I know you changed
positive
his
note,
name.
like you think we on the up and up? Like you confident?
I'm not saying we're on the up and up. I just think within this window, we can make the right decision short term, but long term, there's still challenges that we're gonna face. Uncle, he nailed about 5 points that not only need to be discussed, but I feel like that's what USC has to address. I mean, California as a whole has a lot of issues, right? So if I'm a brother and I'm a student athlete, we have to ask the questions from a brother perspective. I get a degree. Okay, what companies are in California? There might be better companies in Atlanta hiring for what my degree might be. They might be more welcoming me to, a different state might be more welcoming than California is. California is great, but there's also a lot of illusions here. If you're the superstar, Uncle said USC should pay the top dollar. We do that when it comes to being the superstar. We're a superstar team. We can pay one or two guys. I don't think we want to pay a bunch of guys on the roster and guys on the bench making $1 million. I don't see that happening at all.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. Because there's probably only 3 guys on our team, on that roster, that deserve to get paid. That's Eric Gentry. Elijah Page came on strong at the end as for the O-line, and Mekhi Lemon. Nobody else should be making more money than that on that team. Quentin Joyner probably would have had a chance if he would have just stayed. Because everybody saw the production and what he did with the little time show that he got, the little run time.
Ideally, don't you think the quarterback should be one of the highest paid in LA?
Yes, but Jaden Mayava don't deserve that right now. He don't deserve it right now. He ain't done enough for us to command the money that he won't. I mean, think about it when Caleb was there. Only Caleb and Jordan Addison were the only 2 players, along with Gentry, that deserved to get the money that they got. We can honestly say that. Maybe and then before that, who's the dude that came from Oregon, the running back?
You talk about
Travis Dye.
Yeah, Travis Dye. He was effective. Those are the only guys who actually their production
deserve that paycheck.
Deserve that paycheck. Yeah, a lot of these guys, we need to treat a lot of these guys like the NFL players. I'm sorry, they want this bad. Okay, we're gonna treat you like NFL players. A lot of y'all don't even deserve it. A lot of them ain't cutting it on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get we paid Jakeem, Stewart his bag, but we don't know what he gonna be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Hey, I feel that Rod talking.
Yeah.
Welcome, my boy. This is my first time seeing you on here.
Yeah, man. I always catch your stuff, but I be at work and then I see you when you be on USCJ. So I like, let me come show love to him, man, because his show be his cast be your podcast be popping, bruh.
Right. And off the dribble. Yeah. Everybody know.
For real.
You said your name Rod?
Yeah.
Man, that's an excellent point, because I was touching a little bit on that earlier, and I believe that's what's taking place. Like I was describing the process of playing college football and that procedure, how you have your meeting with your coaches and your position coach and all that. And that's the stuff you go over. And so that's what I was saying, is that in these meetings it has to be discussed. We're not moving forward. This is the future we see you with, or if you're here, we don't see you getting the playing time that you want. So your best bet is to go forward or get the money you want. So it seems like that, and we blame it all on our NIL guys. But at some point, him and Riley have talked. This player's asking for this much money, and Riley's either saying, "Yeah, let's negotiate," or "No, he's not worth it." So that it's a combination of the 2 of them.
How many guys on the team right now?
Hold on. I just want to say something. So before we get too far, Rod, I agree with everything you said. Only thing I push back on though is I do think Jaden Mayava could negotiate more money, because he is the projected starter at quarterback, so he can go into renegotiating.
Okay.
Yeah,
we have nobody else
about that.
We don't have no quarterbacks on roster.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he is in position. Yeah.
He got all the power.
Yeah. You got it like that.
We ain't got nobody on roster. Let's be honest. We don't.
But I'm saying he don't. I don't think he should command anything that Caleb got because Caleb
Oh
deserved
no.
it. Caleb was the whole team. Him and Jordan Addison, they was the whole team. And Gentry, Caleb was a whole different other beast. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
think like when you say Caleb was the whole beast, I get that. But Caleb was a different type of player when Jordan Addison was there, as opposed to when he left. He didn't
that's
have
true.
that go to guide where it's just like
Receiver to stretch the
all
field.
gravy. Like
That's
even this year, I looked at the whole perspective of everything that happened in the season. What happened was even with like Miller Moss, Miller Moss, he lacked his luster when he couldn't when the tight end got hurt.
that is true. I noticed
When
that
McCree
soon
got
as
hurt, it was
yeah,
like, oh damn, like.
yeah.
But
And then the
if you're a
offense changed
quarterback
up.
guru, if you're an offensive guru as a coach, you always gotta like stick to your guns. You always gotta have, man, the number one thing about SC in all of SC, I don't care what nobody say. Anybody, I'll sit in front of Jen Cohen, Lincoln Riley,
Oh
Pete
Lord.
Carroll, whoever it is. We run the damn ball, bro. That's what we
Yeah.
do over here.
Halfback you.
Robinson, we run the ball. That's what we do. And you got a tailback that's averaging 4.4 yards to carry with or 4.5 with Woody this year. You got another tailback who jumped in the portal who averaging what 7.6 yards to carry. I'm
Yeah.
feeding.
You know what's so crazy? We can run the ball effectively anytime we want to. Out of
Yep.
all those running backs that we have
Not in the
already,
red zone. We can't. Not not when
Well,
we
because
have to.
because
We can't.
he
But
line
that's
up, he
play
line up
Not
in
when
calling.
that
we
Play
have to. We
shotgun.
calling.
can't.
That's
no,
That's
no,
play
play.
no.
calling more
Hold
than it
on,
is
one at
anything
a
else.
time. Y'all go one at a
I
time.
give you that, but
Not when.
what I'm
Go ahead. Go
saying
ahead.
is, though, what I'm saying though, we had Woody Marks, Travis Dye, Austin Jones, Quinn Joyner. It's not
Marshawn Lloyd.
Marshawn Lloyd. It's not 1 year where any of those guys rush for more than 200 plus yards. It's always been around 100, 150, maybe 130 yards a game. There's plenty of times we could have ran the ball over a lot of teams, and he just chose not to. That's a coaching problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
It
think we've all.
absolutely
I
is.
think we've all this year got to the point that we could have ran the ball more. The only thing I'll say about Miller Moss in that tight end comment was that it wasn't the tight end injury that only threw Miller Moss off. It's we basically had to take the tight end out of the offense to protect
And
our,
that was
our
bad.
tackles.
And that was
To
bad, man.
protect our
That was
tackles.
terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
So
okay.
it wasn't that I
If
wouldn't
you a
just I
coach,
wouldn't just say it was to protect the tackle. So we took the tight end out the game myself because we had to protect those ends. They had to stay in and block. And
okay, so if you gotta take the tight end out the game, what you gonna do? And you getting 4 to 5 yards a pop. Even if
I mean we've
no,
already
this is
established
the thing.
we
The
we've
reason why
already
the
established
numbers
that
is
we should have
skewed.
ran more.
It's the
We've
reason
already
why the numbers
established.
is
Go
skewed.
ahead.
So I can't hear you guys over the baby.
Yeah, hey,
So,
yeah, Chris. I think the baby like. All right. Chris,
It's just
Chris
that
got
the
Chris
baby. We
got
love
two.
we love
they
little
got something to
Chris.
say.
It's all
So y'all got something
good.
to say.
Yeah, he want to chime in. The baby.
Right. Look, I got thoughts on this.
Chris be thugging it.
But you know what? Even when McCree went down and Riley changed up the offense without having that safety net for McCree that tight end, we
Mm-hmm.
know we got Walker Lyons, we got Joey Olsen, both of them. And little run time that they got, they showed that they can do something. But he just
Right.
chose not to replace those. He chose not to replace them, and that's Riley's fault. I'm sorry, man. He
Yeah.
be making some questionable decisions, man, because you can't have this much talent and just forget how to coach the game, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, his play calling, and his clock management, especially
Yeah.
late in games, leaves a lot to be determined. Because especially what was the game? Was it Penn State where they lost the game on one run?
Oh my God.
When dude should have never even had that much time. The game should have been over when they tackled him in bounds to begin with, because Lincoln Riley decided he's going to throw the ball 3 times instead of running the ball, when we've been running the ball well the whole time. And there's at least 3 games this year that I can directly point to Lincoln Riley's play calling as the reason why we lost those games. And then secondarily, he would put Miller Moss in situations where, one thing I did not see about Miller Moss this year is, as you guys know, when you play football, there's always 2, 3, 4 plays that are going to decide that game. And usually there are third down conversions where you have to just make that one good pass in a third down situation. Not only was Miller Moss not completing those passes on a consistent basis, but also Lincoln Riley was calling plays that put them in a compromised situation, like cutting the field in half, like rolling to one side, but having the whole team rolling to that one side. And now you're playing, in about 20 yards worth of football field, and you got 21 players in there, right? So a lot of his shit, and I'm not a fan, as you can tell. Lincoln Riley, to me, is the most overrated. He's produced some Heisman Trophy winners, but also the fact that he never puts the quarterback under center. That's a goddamn problem, bro, because that limits everything that you can do, and all the defensive backs and linebackers can see your quarterback, and there's nothing that he can do about it except for hope. So he puts a disadvantage to his linemen. When linemen are blocking and they're running and the running backs are getting yards, linemen's confidence go through the roof. Now you got a whole different program when a lineman feels good about himself and he pancaking people, is running back, getting yards, and you start wearing a team down, especially some of these lower echelon teams that we lost to.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Because look, this is football. So this is a physical sport. The most physical team is gonna always win, bro.
Yeah.
The most physical team. So we had a weak identity. That's why our air raid team has never won nothing.
That's exactly right.
This is football first. It start in the trenches and it end right there.
Build from the middle out, bro.
So this is what I want to ask y'all. I want to ask y'all this. Look, if y'all had one wish, or y'all had 2 options, right?
Yeah.
And they ask you, would you rather fire Lincoln Riley?
Fire him.
Look, and come anew. I want to ask everybody though. I know Unc want to fire him. Would y'all fire Lincoln Riley, or would you be like, or they could say USC NIL gonna be robust? You can make our NIL up there where we competing with the Oregons and Ohio State.
Can I go first on this one?
Go ahead.
NIL don't make no difference. We seen it this year. If you don't know how to coach right.
Yep.
You don't know the culture of what the program that you in. Like, if you don't know, like, bro, it's like, you in the collie. When he in the collie, he should see Charles White, Marcus Allen, OJ Simpson. We got
Reggie Bush, Mike Reggie.
Come on. That's easy work. The whole university, we was going down there back in the day when it was like, I'm not the prohibition days, but what's the days it was called back in the day? And we was smacking Alabama. What we was doing was running the ball. We came back in the day, even when Pete Carroll was running the ball,
smacking dudes in the mouth,
smacking them.
Yeah. So what y'all vote? Like, all y'all like Ken Riley? What you got?
I gotta run the ball.
So here's what I would do. I don't know if I would can Riley, but I think, again, going back to his ego, I think he is a suspect play caller. I think he's a good play designer, but I don't think his play calling and clock management. I think he needs to hire an upstairs offensive coordinator, somebody that's in the box that can see the game and can call the game from the bottom. I don't think you can get involved in being in this NIL competition, trying to be, the richest guy on the block, because we're already rich enough to compete. But the last thing you want to do is, the only thing you have to sell is that I can pay you more money, right? Because now you kind of putting yourself in a whole nother situation right there, and it becomes economic. When it becomes economic, people's moral compass starts to shift a lot, right? We know this to be a truth in life. So while we can still maintain our competitive, nature in terms of the money, we're already there. But now let's talk about getting these kids on the field. Let's talk about building a culture, and let's talk about producing high quality men like a Target. Like, that's what we do. We bring our kids in here. We make sure that our kids are well schooled, that they're well trained, that they come into a culture, and that they win.
Right.
And we're not gonna let them leave.
Hold on.
Is it on me?
Hold on.
Is it on me?
Yeah.
Is it on me to answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I would take the robust NIL for many reasons.
Okay, tell me.
The first reason is we fire Riley, we start this all the way back over again. You think we losing recruits? You think we losing players now?
The whole
the floodgates open up. That's the first reason I would take the robust.
Can I have his house when you let him go?
That's up to you and the union. Well, I think he owned it, right? If it's paid off, that's up to you. But what I'm saying is it sets the program back. Number two, who will we bring in as coach? That's gonna make
I know who we can bring.
That's available. Who?
Yeah.
Who? You saying you know who?
It's only
Deion
two
Sanders.
coaches. No, the hell no.
Deion.
It's two coaches that will fit perfectly for USC, and they're coming from the NFL ranks. And I had this conversation with a lot of people last night, and I want to see what you're going to think about it. Kyle Shanahan or Sean McVay?
They're not going to leave the Rams and the 49ers. We're talking about realistically. They're not leaving the Rams and 49ers.
They're not leaving those jobs at all.
Come on, man.
Okay. You tell me that one. If you can't, you can throw them some money, and they can stay in California, come coach USC.
They live in both of them in California.
Both of them live in California, and they don't have to recruit. They don't have to recruit.
Right.
I don't think
they ain't got to be
I don't know. Hold on. Here's
personality though. He got the right personality to lead USC. He knows the area, he knows the landscape. All you got to do is hire the right guys to go out there and who can recruit.
Sean McVay.
Can I finish though?
Yeah.
All right. So first reason is the turnover. We're going to start the rebuilding process over. Second, those are good coaches. I don't think neither one of them is leaving the NFL. There's nobody out there that we're gonna bring right in. That's a splash hire that can turn it around quick. The third thing is for every game that, and I'm not taking up for Riley, but for every game we can say play caller lost us a game. I can name 10 other things that lost the game that had nothing to do with play call.
That's true.
Right. That had to do with players being in the right position. Right. There's one thing that can mess up a perfect play call, and that's bad execution. Right. That goes back to coaching too. The players got to execute. Coaches got to coach. So that's another reason that I would take NIL. Another reason I would take the NIL over getting rid of the coaches, because we all have said it. Right. We said we want to play big boy ball. Right. Build in the trenches. Right. Do that. Yep. That's how we build the trenches. The trenches come with plenty heavy. We don't lack for skill position. We all know our weakness on our team was the offensive lineman and what bad tackle play do. It pigeons the offense. It pigeons your play calling, because now you can't even be in your full bag, because everything you do has to be designed around keeping people in and certain teams to protect the tackle. Right. So that hampers you as a play caller. It hampers you as an offense period, because you can't even use your full arsenal. Because now tight ends have to stay in. Running backs can't go out like they're supposed to, because they got to stay in and chip, right? So with maximum NIL, we have the skill position. We need to fix the trenches. We're not losing out on the Harmons no more. We're not losing out on the big guy from Kentucky that we're trying to get. We're not looking with the maximum NIL. We got it. And any coach we bring in, the first thing they're gonna ask is like Bill Belichick. Does this job? What type of NIL package this job comes with?
He just went to North Carolina.
And and guess what the promise is in NIL that they promised. That's what I'm saying. So any coach come to USC is gonna ask the same question. What's the NIL package? Oh, we rank 17 nationally. We got to do something to get this money up. When coaches take jobs, it's no longer just about the facilities and how much money you're gonna pay them. They want to know how much we got to work with the NIL. And if the NIL is not together, they're not coming. So I would take maximum NIL over getting Riley any day, over getting rid of Riley.
I agree with you. I ain't even gonna lie because NIL is everything right now, bro.
You're right.
Look, check it. As much as I'm against Riley, I do think if he had all the pieces he want and need, like first of all, if you give him that quarterback and that offensive line, I do believe his offense gonna get back cooking again. Right.
I still think he need a play caller though. I think he's a horrible play caller.
I mean, I say that we could say that, but I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Right.
Our offensive line was inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like we will break for a big run and then we'll give up a run for loss. A lot of times our running back got hit in the backfield. So as a play caller, when you already pass first already, it's easier for you to lean in the pass, right?
Yep.
Especially when you're behind the sticks.
Hey, but Carter, just let me just say this real quick. It's a cold game when other coaches are calling out what he about to do. Yeah. You know, like Minnesota coach said it after his interview after the game. Already knew what he was gonna do. He gonna pass it on first down, and then the cold part about the game, he did the same shit the entire year.
Exactly.
He didn't even change it.
Never adjusted. He don't adjust in game or in season.
That's
but
true.
What's crazy about that, what he said was that they were running the ball.
Oh, if
but
it went right this way, we're one play away. Nah, hell no.
No. What Minnesota coach said.
But look, I think the point to the NIL, why I would choose the NIL, because if USC have they NIL right, and we had a robust NIL with LA too, and now that we got the robust NIL, now they gonna listen about the education factor. See, when you coming short with the money, they all that other shit is going one ear out the other. Right?
especially nowadays.
Yeah. So if we had our money right, we would clean up in recruiting easy. We would have a stacked ass roster that even Lincoln Riley can't fuck over. That's what I'm saying. He's
like
not
Oregon
coach. This is his worst coaching job I've seen this year. His play calling. But the other 2 years, his play calling wasn't that bad. I can't complain too much.
Right. Well, last year was trash too.
But last year was trash, right?
Yeah. No. The year before that, when Caleb was a junior, trash play calling. Like what?
Yeah, he was.
That was last year.
That was trash play calling.
But look, we still averaged 40. The games we lost against Washington, they scored 52. We had 42. The only team that really had our offense climb down was Notre Dame because they exposed our line.
Well, and Caleb played bad in that game. He was forced. He did some bad things. Caleb
but he was under serious pressure. I remember watching that game.
That's true. I get it.
And it felt like our offensive line was JV playing against varsity against Notre Dame that game. Like,
and that's how they looked all year this year.
So I would definitely, and I want to say one other thing on this topic. Like, if y'all don't think that prime time when they have USC popping, I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
My whole thing with prime time is he gonna have the players coming in though.
Man, that's automatic number one recruiting class at prime time come, bro.
Oh, guaranteed.
He can sell LA. Like, come on now.
Yeah. He's gonna be all in LA, and he got a bad foot. He ain't going nowhere else other than LA.
Prime,
but I don't see Prime coming to LA. He waiting on the Florida State job.
No.
He waiting on the Florida State job.
I don't. But I always hear people like, "Oh, I don't want Prime." If Prime came, I ain't gonna lie. Before when Riley came, I wanted us to get Prime.
Me too. Right. Even Reggie Bush said it.
I mean, he's smart too. He know he ain't a team, so he hired.
He hires coaches.
Hold on, I'm gonna let y'all cook. I'm just saying he gonna hire the right people. Look what he did with Colorado. Like,
yeah,
Colorado
that's true.
was 1-12 before he came.
1-12.
So I feel like Dion, he would be a great fit at USC. I know
I guess you right.
I don't want to come,
right
but I guarantee you, if Prime was at USC, all these decommits wouldn't even happen, bro.
Well,
Here's
just
the
look
thing
at
about
it.
Prime.
He would have brought Travis Hunter. He would have brought his son.
And
And then Prime. Okay, so Prime would have been like what Lincoln's trying to be.
No, I bet
Somebody's
you.
phone is going off.
I bet you he would have made sure we ran the ball though.
Yep.
Now here's the thing. This is what I was gonna say about Prime. I love Coach Prime, but we'll be having the same conversation if you guys have a problem with the ball being thrown all over the place because they don't run the ball. They don't run the ball neither.
Yeah,
Second thing, they don't run the ball neither. So if you want somebody to get out of the spread and all that, then I don't know why you would want to come
But
if y'all want to run.
I think that's partially because his line was worse than our line. His line was super trash.
Did you see that Nebraska game? Did you see what Nebraska D line did to their O line?
Yeah. Oh my God!
Yeah, and he's only 2 years in on his recruiting classes, right? So in 2 years, this is second year at Colorado, and in 2 years, they bowl eligible, all that. They probably not gonna play because he ain't gonna have no players to play because ain't nobody trying to risk injury or nothing, But in 2 years, that's what they've accomplished. In that same time here. Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine what we could have done.
Exactly.
Well, here's the difference. Here's the difference. If USC played the Colorado schedule this year, we'd be in the playoffs. I mean, that's a lot of things you got.
That's a good call.
That's a lot of things you got to look at. And then I'm with you, Carter, because we're missing one key factor, right? That if Deion Sanders came to LA, what is our problem right now? Our problem right now. Our biggest problem is NIL. No, the biggest problem is NIL, and we can't with people not contribute to NIL like we want to.
Well, Colorado, they don't really got no money like that, bro.
Wait. Listen to what I'm saying. If Prime came to USC, our economy is immediately gonna get a boost, and so is our NIL. You said Colorado don't got no money, but if you look at the numbers, when they hired Deion Sanders, attendance of games has went up. People going to the school has went up. Their NIL has went up. The economy, the business around there, everything has went up. So if he did come to USC, our NIL is going to get where it needs to be because he knows how to draw money. He drew money at Jackson State. He got to Jackson State and got so much money for their program while they won the HBC National Championship this year. New facilities, new locker room, new field. He know how to bring money into the program. So that's what you get when you get Deion Sanders is you're going to get an economy boost. So he will be good because our NIL will be getting put in place.
And they're going to hire, Jen Cohen, they're going to hire the best defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators that they can in order to develop it and get us to the next level. And
Well, Cohen don't have no control over that. Deion Sanders will hire the staff.
Can you imagine if Coach Prime was on the sideline and right behind him is Ronnie Lott, Willie McGinnis, Joey Palomano?
Hold on.
He would get it popping. Right. I'm with Carter on that one. Deion would get it popping.
All right.
We'll see.
In LA?
We'll see Bush on the sideline with him. It'd be Showtime all over again. He built for this football. Like he was in Colorado, they getting ESPN game day. It would be Colorado all over again, but 10 times more because he in LA now.
Except turned up.
Except way more turned up. Snoop gonna be back at the game. Everybody gonna be donating. Come on, man.
They gonna have Snoop on campus, Will Ferrell, Dr. Dre, like everybody you can ever imagine that's a celebrity in LA, they're gonna be on campus just because Prime there. Because he's done it right there in Colorado.
Look, and just like Jeff said, he said Prime
would invite our alums back.
Yeah, he'll invite our alums back.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I was talking about before, culture.
Travis Hunter and Shador, they might go number 1 and number 2 in the draft, man.
Probably.
Man.
USC.
I know the Raiders were on Shador.
Bruh.
I think the Raiders trying to trade up even get both of them.
Oh, man.
But that's NFL talk. But it's like
they need them both.
Yep.
I want to make a quick comment about scheme. I think if Lincoln could, get out of his stubbornness and change his scheme in the red zone, that alone would bring dividends. Because check this out, you guys. When we played Michigan, go back to the highlights. Majority of the time, Michigan ran out of the shotgun. But once they were on that goal line to get to that go-ahead score,
on the center
was under center. They brought in a fullback, and it was I formation.
That's right.
That's right. All we have. That's all we had to do for about 3 drives in the red zone. Bring in I formation.
Now you can run hard up the nose. You could do RPOs. You can do all kind of shit. It just gives you way more options. I think Lincoln Riley's offense is so predictable. Not only is it predictable, but if you guys are, I'm guessing most of you guys played football at some level. If you have the opportunity to look at the quarterback from every position outside of maybe the defensive line, because you're trying to get your position there. But if the linebackers and the safeties and cornerbacks can all see the quarterback from the very beginning of the play, it automatically limits certain things that quarterback can do, or he's going to have to do it at such a high level till you always have to have the absolute best quarterback in the nation in order to be able to be super effective. And he's shown that he can recruit quarterbacks because he's got Heisman Trophy winners. But at the same time, I think he saddles the team with a bunch of stuff that is unnecessary. And like you were saying, if he gets under center, at least on the goal line, where now you have limited what the defense can see, it changes the way you can operate that offense. And I think you save yourself a lot, including getting your quarterback just murdered back there.
Man,
here's the thing.
Hold on. Can I just one quick? Who was your tailback when you was in high school?
Charles White.
Yeah. Well, did y'all ever stop running to him?
Shit, hell no. Now we ran back in the day. I was at San Fernando High School. We ran a wishbone offense. He was actually the fullback, and that was, you hated being at practice.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, I'm not one that think Riley's the greatest. I'm not one that think he's the worst. I'm not on fire Riley yet.
Right.
But we have to move past. We have to move past if you have a distaste for him or dislike for him. But we have to look at this clearly and visually to what really happened, because we went under center at times on the goal line. We tried to run the ball 3 straight times against Washington, and the offensive line was blown up. The running back was hit as soon as he got the ball. Against UCLA, against UCLA, Maeva was under center on the goal line, and the offensive line was blown up. So I mean, we have a he went under center a couple times, and one of the times he went under center, the referee.
I'm gonna look at that tonight just to verify them. Like, I gotta look at that one because
but even if it's so right,
one of the times he was on the goal line, the referee, we ended up running a play action boot out of it, and the referee blocked the touchdown pass. Crazy ref, but referee's another story from the referee's another story this year.
Hey, Amazon want to know. He said he was late, but he said, do y'all feel like Branch was utilized properly?
No.
Could have been used like Tez Johnson in the same system.
No. You got a kid coming in off a freshman All-American season who balling, who got a freshman All-American. He's a freshman All-American. Just returning kicks. Like, I would have made him so dangerous. Y'all would have really been scared of him. And it's like, what's he gonna do on bubble screens? You gonna just send him on bubble screens? There's no like sweeps. There's no the cross him out or like no dig outs. Like all that hide him on shit. It was like, all right, take it to the house, my boy. Like it's good. Like we're gonna bring you on this dig out. It's good.
I'm gonna have to disagree here because he was a freshman All-American on returns. He dipped in returns himself by either not fielding the ball or call a fair catch we should have ran. On offense,
Yeah.
Riley tried to get the ball in his hand with space. Screens, reverses, him coming underneath the line. A lot of times he either drop the ball
Yeah, he got
or
terrible
uh,
hands, man.
Okay.
He don't have
so
No,
good
what
I
I'm
get
what
it.
hands.
I'm
He dropped
saying is
balls.
what I'm saying. He was targeted the most, and a lot of the plays were designed to get him in space. So he was utilized properly for his skill set. He's not a receiver who can run 1 through 9 on the route sheet. He
Right.
can't run. He didn't develop to run every route, so you're limited to what you can use him for. In his
Okay.
freshman year, we used him on the same type plays in the same areas that we tried to use him this year. This year, more people were focused on him, and this year he just had a different production for some reason. I don't know if it was the weight gain as far as losing some speed or what, or if he was in his head. But it's only so many things that you can do with the receiver like that who can't run routes 1 through 9 on the route chart.
Yeah,
and
because he
catch
can't
and
even
catch the
create
ball
space for
consistently.
himself. He
Right.
creates space for himself as well. How many times
Yeah,
did they throw 50-50 balls to him? He couldn't do nothing with it.
yeah,
It was just like, man, why you floating the ball to this dude? He's not even that type of receiver. I would have utilized him as a Debo in Debo type style, like they do out there with the Niners.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he
Uh-huh.
should be a wide receiver number 3 or number 4. You should have Makai Lemon as number 2, Jacoby number 1, Deuce maybe number 3. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man.
I love Zachariah Branch, but Michael Jackson the third
Oh, was
and
a monster.
Oh my God.
Michael
We
Jackson,
missed.
Michael
He
Jackson
ain't
the
getting no playing. He ain't getting no playing time at Georgia. Tell him come on home.
Heck no.
No, let my boy cook. Let him cook. Let him cook.
Michael
Yeah, because he
Jackson
was
the
bringing it.
third and Mario Williams left, and Zachariah was supposed to fill that spot. He got a lot of opportunity this year. I feel he buckled under the pressure of LA.
Fact.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna say this:
Well, I
losing
think a lot
Mario
of it
Williams
comes
wasn't that
from
big.
too.
Mario Williams dropped a lot of balls too.
Yeah,
You
well,
said
yeah,
who?
that's of course.
Yeah.
You
But
said who?
they're kids. So it's like when you look at it, I've never seen anybody in all everything we're looking at in this panel. We can all look at what Lincoln Riley did with Jordan Anderson. And I'm at the USC UCLA game when Caleb was there at the and then Jordan Anderson was there. When he brought Jordan Addison off um he just brought him in the backfield, curled him out on the whole route on the right side, and he was wide open. When that's your number one wideout, like that's like Lincoln Riley has not done that since. So it's like you
My God,
recruit that kid, you can recruit that kid to tell him he could do that. But at the same time, you're not running that play for him.
my
So there's
God.
something that gotta be off.
We put Zachariah Branch in the backfield and had him come out the backfield a few times this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
We ran that route where Zachariah Branch come in motion, dip under the lineman at like 2 yards that we run. They did all that. They targeted Zachariah Branch so much with that.
Yeah,
They
they
ran
did.
them same
Yeah, they
plays.
did.
Yep.
They didn't break that one to the right or the left, though, him coming off the backfield as a tailback.
Yes, they put him in
They've
the
never
backfield
done
and
that.
rocket.
They haven't done that play since Addison left. I promise you. I'm at every game, bro. Like they have not done that since.
I think the
No,
challenge.
Zach,
I think the
go ahead,
challenge.
go ahead.
I think the challenge of what you're saying is it's tough for us. I'll speak for myself. I think it's tough to. I hear what you're saying, but it's tough to put Zachariah and Addison on the same level when I just saw the NFL game and Addison is killing it in his second year.
Yeah.
Right, he different. He
I
different.
mean, he's murdering. I mean, good lord.
He's a threat. He can run every route on the passing tree.
Well, that's
Oh,
right.
that's right. You're right on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a true threat.
Yeah, everybody keyed on Zachariah because the film was out, right?
Yep.
He had a good freshman year. Let's be honest, he didn't put up big numbers his freshman year wide receiver. He was All American for kickoff
Yep, that's true.
and punt
That's true.
return. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So they knew what they want to do. They want to get the ball in his hand in his face. They want to run screens. They're gonna bring him out the back. If I'm the defensive coach and I'm watching film, You know what I'm saying about Zach? He's only gonna run 2 or 3 routes.
Yeah.
Like
It's only 2 or 3 route possibility that he's gonna run.
he
But
not running no dig backs.
that's what I'm saying. That's why Dennis Simmons need to go because he should be able to be developed. He had the whole skill set to run routes just like Jordan Addison. Now we all know Jordan Addison is top flight. He was the best wide receiver in that draft to me,
Yep,
right?
definitely.
But he could have did better with scheming him open more. Like all the times I seen Zachariah get the ball, the whole defense had their eyes on him, and he was right in front of them, and they could just come downhill and attack. Lincoln Riley supposed to be scheming him up, getting him one-on-one matchups with safeties and linebackers. I even know this. You want to get
Carter,
your
I agree. But when he was in one-on-one matchups, he couldn't get off press coverage, and he couldn't get separation. There was a lot of times he was in one-on-one coverage and he just couldn't make the catch.
hey,
The scheme was there.
but you just said right. You just said yourself. He only running 1 or 2 different routes. So if I'm a DB, it's easy to lock him up because he only running 1 or 2 routes, right?
Yeah, and if I'm a
Right.
DB coach, I'm telling them he
We
only gonna run these
about
2
that
routes.
before. That's coaching. That's why you
Right.
somebody
This is
run
why I was about to get to.
routes. That's the
This is
problem.
why. Right. This is why I was about to get to this point. The point. I mean, the issue is the question was, did we use him? We use him correctly. We use him correctly for his skill set. The issue comes in is what you said, Carter, which is my issue, which is right hitting the nail right on the head, and that's the
Mhm.
wide receivers coach. Because if you look at Jordan Addison, you look at Tosh Washington, you look at Rice, all these receivers came to us already whole.
That's true.
But everyone that they have recruited, none of these. We looked at this wide receiving core coming in. Was like, okay, they had a good Holiday Bowl. We was expecting big things, but none of them took that next step. We
Oh
didn't
wait,
see
No
it.
development.
Makai
What
took
about
that next
Lemon?
step.
Yeah,
Makai
well,
did, and
outside
Jacoby
of
shows
Makai,
it, but
Okay.
Jacoby shows it, but sometimes he do dumb stuff too, man.
but see,
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Jacoby issue is similar to Brush issues, where he hasn't developed to be able to run every route on the effectively every route on the passing chart.
What's your thoughts on Deuce?
Deuce would have been. I think Deuce could go up there. I mean, his ceiling is so high, man. But I don't think we utilize him as well too. He's fast. I think his hands aren't as good as Jacoby's, but it seems sometimes he catches with his body instead of just really catching with his hands and everything. I don't know, man.
Yeah, he
Lincoln
doesn't
Riley,
attack the ball.
Lincoln Riley wasn't using his size right.
No, he didn't. Not at all.
They
Not
should
at
have,
all.
yeah. You should have ran more of them routes where he get to box you out, a slant route, a curl route, use his size, right? He just want
Yep.
to see Deuce deep. Deuce, he a deep threat, but you got to mix it up. You got to use his whole 6'6" frame. I
Yep.
remember playing football and playing DB. And that's what I hated most, playing against tall receivers. They can run that little slant route, box you out like for a rebound. You know what I'm saying? We should
Yep.
have been doing that
I'm
way
gonna
more.
think.
So Lincoln Riley, he didn't move his chess pieces on the board right. This
At
is
all.
not checkers, and he wasn't moving the knights and the queen. He wasn't moving them right.
I
Man,
tell you.
And see,
six
Carter,
six
most of the
with
time I be
speed.
trying to Carter, most of
Six
the time I
six
be
with
trying to play
speed.
devil's advocate with you because you play devil's advocate with me.
Oh
But
yeah,
I'm with you. But
okay.
no, I'm with you on this one. Now, if we're not talking about Branch and we're talking about Deuce, was he used effectively? Then my answer is no. We schemed and used that for what he, but I don't think we used Deuce right. And the only reason I say that is because I would have lined Deuce up at
Me
tight end.
too. We got a
Man,
thousand
I would have
people
lined
in
Deuce
here.
up at
God.
tight end and got him on the linebacker safety and let him cook.
Oh my goodness. He would have been destroying cats,
With
bro.
you got
All that
Lemon on the
separation.
outside, Branch on the outside, and Lane on the outside. Instead of instead of sending McCree right up the middle, like Deuce would have ran right. I would put him at tight end, had him do a fake little chip block, and
Right.
go out. And no linebacker or safety would have been able to stay with him.
I don't understand why they didn't put Deuce at the tight end position.
Cause he
And
don't know
like
what he doing. That's why he don't know what he doing.
I got an
Dude's an
because
idiot.
if
Hey,
you
I'm gonna
got
be.
Walker Lyons or somebody like that or Lake McCree, like, and then you
I'm
got
so.
another, he doing it like double, like it's got like a double up, right? So you got a one tight end behind the other on one side. Like you
Hey,
can run one.
real talk. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you, man. When USC hired Lincoln Riley, and I was like, where he come from? They
Thanks,
said
Brian.
Oklahoma.
See, Brian's seen the game too. Marvin
No,
went
no.
under to UCLA too. I know I ain't crazy.
But I'm saying like when they hired him, and I was like, yo, he came from Oklahoma. Then we beat them guys 55-10 in the national championship, and we got a
Right.
dude who's coming from their program. What the hell? We getting somebody from the Big 12 when they can't even hang with
He
us?
wasn't coaching then, though.
I don't care, man. Anybody coming from the Big 12,
Bob
they don't
Stoops
need to
was the
be.
coach.
Yeah,
Bob Stoops was the coach.
yeah.
I want to throw somebody's name in there. If when you guys mentioned Deuce Robinson as a tight end, if I were to meet Lincoln Riley and I had one question to ask him, I would ask him, why wasn't Kyle Ford ever put at tight end?
Exactly. Yeah. There you go.
Because he's so in love with the wide receiver position. He want to spread you out, go for wide. That's why Robinson a wide receiver, right?
That's like Kyle
No.
Ford.
I'm gonna tell you why it is. He got a $110 million contract with a $30 million house, and he like, I can do whatever I want to. They're not going. It's not like gonna sell me off to anybody, and he like, I'm gonna get quit on it. The only way we could win on this contract is if he go to the NFL, or if he just decides to quit, or he gets another university that can buy him out. Other than that, he can do whatever he wants to.
Look. I
But
feel
it's
like
simpler than that.
Riley. Hold on, y'all. I feel like Lincoln Riley is fixable. Somebody
He
needs to sit
what?
down. I feel like Lincoln Riley is fixable. We got to think about he's still a young coach, right?
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
saying devil's advocate. I'm out on Lincoln Riley, but at the same time, he can be fixed. It's how stubborn he is.
His ego get the best of him, man.
How
Exactly.
much ego do he got? That's what I don't
Right.
know
He got
personally.
a
If I knew
shit
him,
load of ego.
if I knew him, hold on. If I knew him personally, I'll be able to decide more if I want to can him or let him go. But it's looking from the outside in and just watching this season, I just feel like all he needed somebody to tell him was run the damn ball. I don't think he's a big badass fix, just like Uncle Big said. He got great play design. He got bad play calling. You can improve your play calling. Shit, I play football games. I'm better now. You know what I'm saying? Like my play calling improved on the game. I figured out which play gonna work for me, right? So I feel like it was just his play calling.
And his clock management.
In his clock management.
He need to hire a new O-line coach. Now that old dude went to Purdue, we need to get a new receiving coach and and actually get an offensive coordinator, man. I think he's got too much responsibility on his hands.
Boom. Exactly.
I hear what y'all saying.
If the man don't even hire a special teams coach,
we have one. We have a special teams
coach. That dude isn't competent. I'm good on that guy.
He was hired under title. I don't even think he was a real special teams coach.
But Carter, here we go again. I normally like to play devil's advocate, but I'm with you again. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
You have something wrong today.
I don't know what, but this, and the reason I say he's fixable, he's a young head coach, is because if we look at this past our personal distaste for him, or whatever you feel about him, and you look at the season, he made strides during the season, even before the season. You know what I'm saying? He waited a year late, but he still did what he needed to do. He fired Green. That shows what. He said, we're going to attack this from a defensive mindset and stuff first. Yes, he didn't run the ball a lot like he normally do, but that's why he wasn't going for it on fourth down and one a lot like he normally do, because he said our defense is playing good. I want to, you know what I'm saying, we're going to punt it and pin them back deep and let our defense stop them. Going from a defensive mind first. So I see that. You're talking about management of the clock. If you look at the beginning of the season, you go to the end of the season. I mean, we got the ball with, what was it, like 5 minutes left in the third quarter against Nebraska, and ran the clock all the way down on one drive with 4 minutes and scored a touchdown with 4 minutes left in the game. He executed
Just look at Penn State. You didn't go for the gusto on him. You didn't go for the gusto. You didn't go like I'm at the Maryland game. You didn't go for the gusto on him.
I don't, because what he was gonna say is we up 7, we kick this field goal, we go up 10 and put our defense in it. That right there, that was putting the defense first by going for the field goal, because there's no way that field goal should have been blocked. Offensive
No, that's
line,
a weak ass. That's a
that's
weak ass motherfucker. Excuse my language
but
when I
you
say
want
that.
but you want him to put defense first though, right? Like you can't have it
Yeah,
both
but I
ways. You
get
gotta
it.
pick
But
and
it's like
choose.
you supposed to be the offensive guru though. So it's like
Okay, but
if I'm coming in,
going
I'm
forward,
coming in with
but
killer
he said
tactics on you.
okay, but that's not a defensive first. And any coach in that situation at right there up 7 a field goal that should have been made. It ain't like it was a deep field goal that our kicker can make. Would have took that to go up 10 with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It's not a coach in the country who wouldn't wait for that field goal during that time.
Yeah,
Against
but
Penn State.
at the same time, if you look at you looking at it like how it is with somebody like Pete Carroll, I'm not the only coach in the country though. I'm the top notch upper echelon
Pete
bombers
Carroll would
coach
have
in
went
the
for a field
country.
goal right
So
there.
it's like, well, like,
Pete,
what are you looking at
Pete
yourself
Carroll would
as?
have went for Pete
Hold on,
Carroll would have went for a field
hold
goal
on.
right there.
Look, this is my problem with that. Look, we talked about the Penn State game. Look,
Right,
you play situational football, right?
right,
Situational football,
All
exactly.
right. So let me just break it down.
yeah.
When you got the ball as the offense, what's the goal?
Score a
My point.
touchdown.
All right. So if you starting off the drive saying I want to go for a field goal, you already got a loser mentality because you limited in yourself. You only can achieve what the mind think you can achieve. So if you coming down here going for a field goal, that's probably what you're gonna get. So you start off every drive trying to score a touchdown. My job as the offense is to put the ball in the end zone. You only think about special teams when it's fourth down. So I disagree. That's a
I
losing
know,
mentality.
but I think we're getting off what I'm saying because
No, you
we
said
wasn't
I
talking
heard
about
you. You said Pete Carroll. You said somebody would have went
no
for
no
the field.
no we wasn't talking about the Penn State game. We were talking about the Minnesota
Man,
game, and
hey,
also
let me tell you how G. But I don't mean to cut
hold
you
on.
off, but I'm going to tell you how G. Pete Carroll kept it. Pete Carroll was so gangster. He would come into all those games and lost us some games. But even in the championship game against UCLA, because at that time they used to be able to be like, "Hey, do you guys want to have you guys want to have to where you can replay the plays?" Pete Carroll's like, "Nah, nope.
That's
My
what we lost
squad, so we
in
don't gotta
game.
replay the plays. We gonna win regardless." Only time it fucked him was in the time when he played against Texas. He was
Well,
so gangster, bro. Like he in LA though.
well,
He
okay,
He's
we're
going
getting.
down in
Hold on. Let me talk.
Nickerson Gardens. He's in the jungles. He's in the 60s. He's in Crenshaw. He's in Fontana. He in Rancho San Bernardino. Everywhere,
But
and
we're
he's
getting
like,
off
I
the.
don't know.
Okay.
Somehow we gotten off the point, right?
Right, right.
The whole point was that Carter was saying he's fixable, and all I'm saying is the strides that we made. Somehow we went from the Nebraska game and we went back 3 weeks ahead to Penn State and Minnesota. But the point of bringing up Nebraska and the games after that is showing the strides that he made in managing the clock and in decision making.
He
That's
didn't make
true.
no
How he
damn
learned
Okay,
from that.
strides.
so I don't.
So
Okay,
he,
so I can't
so
agree
he,
that he made no whole bunch of strides in terms of that. I think that they made a play
Right.
sometimes, in a
He didn't make no
situation.
strides.
But I don't know if I saw a real change in the way that he approaches his game planning and his scheming. And as far as putting the dude on the putting the quarterback under center one time at the goal line, well, shit. Now, I mean, part of good
but
offensive football
we were talking
is
about
a
clock
certain level of
management and how
necessity.
we were talking about clock management. We were talking about you guys talking about clock management. I'm showing you the difference in his clock management
That's still
from
clock
3 weeks
management
ago.
though.
Okay. I thought
From 3 weeks
you were still
ago,
talking about his offensive scheme, but yeah, in terms of clock management,
he
even then, I didn't see a whole lot because even at the end of the season, I thought that a lot of those pass plays, like there were games that at the end of the season, what game was that I was watching? Was it Maryland? I don't remember. But
no
anyway,
Maryland was early in the season.
okay,
Notre
okay.
Dame.
But anyway, so what my point is this: even if you run and you don't gain a yard, you still make the other coach have to do something, even if it's call a timeout. If you throw the ball in those situations, and he did it, I would say 80% of the time, he would throw the ball in situations, the ball would be incomplete because, guys weren't getting open, the offensive line was letting people through, whatever. If the ball hits the ground, now you don't force the other coach to do nothing. He's just going to wait now because he doesn't have to do anything. If you run the ball in those situations, at least you make the other guy have to use his timeouts. And a perfect example was the Penn State game when dude made the 64-yard run, but had he managed his clock effectively.
I think you're confusing that with Minnesota. With Michigan.
Michigan.
Michigan. Okay, thanks. Yeah. So
again, we're talking about early in the season, the second game of the year.
But it never maturated.
I didn't see a lot of improvement on that.
Okay, so let's take over when Maeva came in. What was the first game Maeva came in? What, Nebraska? We seen it that game. They got the ball with like 4 minutes left in the third quarter, and they kept the ball all the way to 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, killing the ball on what? It wasn't just pass. It was run. Even the 4th and 1 option play where he brought branch in motion and then end up dishing it out to Whitty Mark. The next game, Rutgers was a blowout. We ain't have to do it. And then you can get to the Notre Dame game. All I'm saying is agreeing with Carter that I have seen this man. I have seen even a willingness. I'm not saying he ran as much as he wanted to toward the second half as he needed to. I seen a willingness and attempt to run it more than he was in the first half. All I'm saying is what Carter said is that the man is fixable. He's a young coach. We see the offensive line coach is gone, which is one thing that we needed. We seen him get rid of Grinch last year. Somebody in the grocery store. All I'm saying is the man is fixable.
Okay. No, I got something for you, bro. Okay, so look at that game when Keyshawn went off for 200 in the Rose Bowl. That team was, I think they had one loss or maybe they're undefeated when we played Northwestern. I was at that game. They had Darnell Autry. They was running the ball. They had Pat Fitzgerald.
Don't forget Bates. They had Bates at wide receiver.
Yeah. But what
Bates.
we did is we went to the run so hard that Keyshawn got to go off.
Right.
It's like they went to the run so hard and then okay. So what happens when you go to the run so hard? Now you bringing them safeties in the box. You gonna bring them DBs up, and then you really playing we're playing chess, not checkers.
But I think we all agree. We all agree that he could have ran the ball more. That wasn't the topic for.
We should literally have. I mean, he don't understand the dynamics of what it is to be at USC.
But we all agree. We all agree that we should run more. But that wasn't what the topic of the of what the discussion was. We all agree. Yeah, we all agree that he could run the ball more. But the only way that USC gonna be able to run the ball more is once Riley gone. We hired an air raid coach. What did we expect?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're right.
We brought in an air raid coach. What did we expect?
But I agree with you. I agree with you. And I've been me and John been talking about this all year. First of all, I always thought that he should have an offensive coordinator / play caller because he can do all of his play design during the week and allow somebody who's focused singularly on managing the offense and the play calling during the game itself, because I think he takes on too much. And I believe, he got a big ego. I can't blame him. If I had his accomplishments, I ain't gonna say I wouldn't be egotistical myself. But
what accomplishments?
There's a time when you just gotta
when you're living in a $30 million house up by Oprah, everybody Jordan.
Sometimes you just gotta find some talent and let some talent do what they do. And I agree, if you could shore up, wide receiver coaches, I think wide receiver is a position where you always need more than one coach. Like you need a wide receiver coaching staff, literally. And as far as the offensive side, you definitely, I think he should relieve himself, put somebody up in the press box that looks down on the field and calls the plays. He always has the option to veto, but I think that he just has too much on his mind, and it's shown sometimes late in games as far as I can see. And like you said, though, it is fixable, especially if he's willing to, admit some things and maybe compromise his ego a little bit.
You know where he went wrong in the season was in that game against USC versus is that Louisville? And Miller.
No. That Louisville was last year.
No, but what I'm saying is
Minnesota.
No. In that bowl game, when that last game of the season in the bowl game, we playing against Louisville, right? And Miller Moss balled out. Everybody's saying, "Hey, Miller's the starting QB for next year." The problem was that he
kept fucking throwing.
No, he didn't have the QB that he normally needs to run his style of offense. Everybody was saying he was going after Will Howard from Ohio State. Will Howard looked like crap. He looked like boo-boo out there. A lot of people I heard was saying, "Yo, we should have went after Cam Ward, who's down there in Miami. He could have ran this offensive perfectly. If we would have had Cam Ward running this offense with us, we wouldn't be in the position that we is now." Right. I don't believe that. I don't believe we would have been in the position that we are in now.
We in the playoffs, not to cut you off, and you can continue cooking, but we in the playoffs.
Oh, go ahead, Carter.
Wait, say that again?
I said we in the playoffs if we had got Cam Ward.
Y'all
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, we're in the top four of the playoffs with a first round bye.
But here's the issue with that. Here's the issue with that. After the Holiday Bowl, a lot of the fans, include myself, because he threw 6 touchdowns, like Miller's so good, Miller's the guy. But even me and Jay, I don't know if you guys know USC. Jay said me and Jay was like, we're not totally sold him off because a lot of those were 50-50 balls, but he deserved to start. So here's the issue. After that game, Will Howard decided he wasn't. Lincoln Riley went to his house to recruit Will Howard. Will Howard decided he wasn't coming to USC because he was scared he was going to lose off to Miller Moss. So he took himself out of that. Cam Ward came for a visit. We tried to get Cam. Riley tried to get Cam Ward. And again, that's why I go back to last year. 100% effort, A in effort, F in execution. We didn't get what we needed. So outside of them two, there was nobody else out there. And so the next quarterback we got was Jaden Milder. And Riley still wasn't sold on Moss. And I can tell you why Riley wasn't sold on Moss. Because if y'all remember, it took up to the week of the LSU game for him to pick a starter because the race was so tight between the two of them. They was neck to neck.
That's true. I think Will Howard was on the same level as Miller Moss. I don't think both of those two guys were the premier QBs that a lot of people were saying. Now, he played
Howard would have gave us a better chance to win because of his mobility.
Exactly.
Like he wouldn't have been taking a beating back there because of the bad offensive line play. He at least would have been able to escape and get on the edge. And
100%. And he got a stronger
arm. He has a stronger arm, so all them deep balls would have been underthrown when we had receivers with a step on them.
Yep, there you go.
So what we doing moving forward? I'm looking. There's a lot of dudes hopping in the portal by the hour. You feel me? So a lot of action. If we willing to swing, but at this point, is we gonna put our money where our mouth is, or should Trojan Nation, should we get used to this? We bargain shopping.
To get used to it, man. The NCAA need to step in and make serious changes because this is crazy, man. At this point,
Connor, you something else. Connor section, we just get used to it. We've been used to
how many of our guys who have jumped in the portal the past season is going to all these new these other programs and even starting and playing? A lot of them been doing that except for Romello Height. And I don't know outside of that, but come on.
I'm about to say, the players that leave USC, they're not doing anything.
Romello Height back in the portal.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
He played good at Georgia Tech. Was it Georgia? Is it Georgia Tech?
Yeah, he started off good. He still only finished with 2.5 sacks.
Damn.
Okay.
Hey, Carter, he would have been tied for first on our team.
Oh
Man,
damn.
Oh man. But
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
only
yo,
balled out that first game. That was kind of like it.
Mason Murphy went to Auburn. Auburn getting everybody. Auburn don't care. Auburn looking at stats or something. They just looking at names in the portal. Because if I was Auburn, I wouldn't want Mason Murphy in the SEC.
Oh, hey,
They
I'm
gonna,
about to say,
yeah.
Carter, yeah, SEC.
they gonna learn quick with Mason Murphy.
Hey, but this is the thing. We weren't. I mean, USC is losing players, right? But look at Bama. I mean, Bama losing
Oh yeah,
everything down there. God,
That's
Bama,
because everybody understand DeBoer is not Saban.
see, that's the board fault. The board knew. See, the board was stupid. He should have never. He should have never left for Washington to go down.
Never follow a legend.
The wheel fall off. Yeah.
Never follow a legend.
Exactly. Nick Saban can't. I mean, come on, man. Like, look at all these. Look at Lincoln. We had Lincoln, Clay Hilton, Sarkeesian, and the other dude. And everybody's. We still talk about Pete Carroll, bro. It's hard. It's hard, bro. You gotta really come in and be doing something. Like, if we know. I remember when we lost Pete Carroll. Dang, we gonna get a while. And then we going through all these coaches. The one coach I wanted the most was Urban Meyer. You get me Urban Meyer, man, we rolling. We back on top.
Man, but the thing is, we talk about Pete Carroll in that area, but that era has a lot to do with what's going on. All those coaches after that have to deal with all type of sanctions and left
That's
flop of scholarships and everything, which handicaps the program. That's the start of the decline, if we're going to be honest. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah, no, you right 1,000%. You right 1,000% because everybody know Nick Saban. He finally retired. Like, oh, you know what? I can't compete with this new age generation on like pay for play. So let me just bail out now because like ain't these players ain't gonna come here like that messing with me. We can't compete with this.
Yep.
Man,
You know what I'm saying? Like, but we better get used to it. The rule is here forever, and I think it needs to be removed. Though I don't like NIL. If you want to pay players, you pay players off of media money. You pay them players off that media money. That's what they should be getting paid off of. All that NIL mess, hell with that, man. Nah.
right.
Hey, Carter, I see you looking at the portal. Man, we need to get the offensive lineman from Washington ASAP.
Oh, we had linebacker too. Washington.
Yeah, and the linebacker's supposed to be visiting. He's from California, but Washington got a linebacker that he got the game-winning play against us and offensive lineman, and we need to get the defensive lineman from Georgia. That's when I'll start. That's when I'll start feeling better. Because I'm gonna be honest, fella. Right now, don't ask me what we're gonna do next year because right now I'm in limbo. I have no idea.
Hey,
Bro,
I said before the transfer portal even started, I said this transfer portal season between now and the spring, because the second one is going to open up. So even when this one closed on the 28th, it's still going to be another one. I said that this transfer portal season going to show how serious USC is about football.
man, honestly. Hey, Carter, real talk. We went out and threw a few $1 million at Jakeem Stewart. We better hope he stay after next season, bro. The way things is looking out here, man. We lost in the sauce, bro.
I think he locked in though. I think he locked in.
Man, I don't know, bro. Hey, when money, hey,
might be looking at like he might be looking at, like it's more room for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. It's more room for him to do his thing out here at SC. There ain't nobody on our line except for Cam Fountain. Cameron Fountain is shooting. That boy looks scary out there. If we can get him right.
Right.
Fountain different.
I think Stewart is locked in. Stewart got the attitude to me that he want to be the start of the team and make something special. Like even I just get that vibe from him. Even with his statement about recruitment, and he was helping USC recruit. He's trying to get people to come play with him. That he been locked in the next class and all that. So I think he locked in. I really think
I
he locked in, and he bought in and sold in.
Yeah,
hey
long
hey
as
you
he don't go nowhere, as long as
hey
he locked in for sure.
hey you say that now, but somebody come over there and throw you about 5 mil, your ass ain't gonna be locked in no more. I'm telling you. You ain't
You're
about to
like,
be
hey,
locked
I
in the
gotta
loyal no
go. I'm sorry, but like I love the campus. And
exactly. I'm sorry, because you know good and well you getting 2 mil at SC Carter. And the next day, hey man, they offer me 5 mil. Yo, bro, I got love for you. Go get your paper, man. I got
Yeah,
love for you.
this
Go
the
get your
thing though.
paper.
This the thing though. After he visited us, he went to Oregon, so I'm pretty sure they offer more or just as much.
Oregon stacked over there though,
yeah,
bro.
but you gotta think.
Oregon
You
is
gotta think
stacked.
also. What Oregon will do is let him go ball out at SC, and they gonna call back like,
Exactly, bro.
So we a feeder school now? God damn.
That's what I mean, I mean, you can't knock Oregon for what they're doing. They stacked over there on the O line. They're like, let me see this kid ball out, see if he really gonna be that. He already got 2 mil. Okay, he did this thing. Yo, bring your ass over here. We're gonna give you 7 mil. We're gonna load
Oregon
you
is
up, man.
smart though. Oregon
Oh,
is
I
doing
know
what
you,
what the Dodgers are doing.
man.
I
And
heard
Dan
Oregon
Lenning, I
still
don't
has
think Dan Lenning is a great. I think he a great recruiter. And you know, I got so much hate for Oregon, but I can't knock Dan Lennon right now. I can't knock
I
that
would
mug.
be a great recruiter at Oregon though, bro. Come on.
Who?
I said I would be a great recruiter at Oregon.
I think anybody
Dan
would
Lanning, Dan
when they
I,
Lanning,
tell you when it's like, hey, when a dude
Dan
come to me,
Lanning,
he's like, you can
how
pay
much?
any
That's
player.
what he's saying. That's what Dan Lanning is saying. How much? I'm
Right.
gonna
exactly.
I'm gonna show off these fancy facilities, then I'm gonna say how much.
How about
And
Exactly, man.
here's the
No
thing.
other people got a blank check for me that I can write for.
Yeah, bro. Cause these kids
Here,
don't care. These kids are getting the bag, and all they doing is looking fly in the cars. They getting the ladies. They getting the chains. They ain't doing nothing more than that. They blowing the money. They having fun. As I mean, a bunch of us would do the same thing too if we was in a position. But I mean, you gotta go get that paper, and I ain't knocking.
Nah,
here's
You
the
get me?
here,
that's why USC
here's the
got to
thing.
that. This
Here's the
once we
thing, and a
realize
lot of
that, go ahead.
here's the thing, because we're talking about Dan Lanning, and a lot of people probably won't agree with me. But again, if you watch the game and you look at it from a honest coach, he's really not that great of a coach. Somebody got something to
He's not.
figure out. He just have a big checkbook up there because of Nike. I can take you back every year that if this would have happened at USC, we would have been on this call calling for his job. And it gets
That's true.
excused because he has the players that bail him out. And if you
That's
look at
true.
it, the first year against Michael Penix, they lost to Washington. Why? The man
Twice.
went for it on fourth down, right, and didn't get it, and they lost by 3 points. The next year, in the same situation against Washington, guess what he did? The same thing again, went for it on the in field goal
Yeah,
range 2 times in the game, didn't get it. They lost by 1 point. This
that's true.
year, they're they're playing. Was it Michigan State? No, it was Wisconsin on their own 30-yard line, up three with less than 2 minutes to go, and he goes for a fake punt and didn't get it, but the defense bailed him out. Like if this happened at you, if he didn't get bailed out, you see what I'm saying? And everybody just skip by those plays because he has the roster. When you have a roster to make up for bad coaching, that's a blessing to have. When you have
Yeah,
a checkbook, when you have a checkbook to get the roster to make up for bad coaching, that's even more of a blessing.
you know
Hey,
who he is.
hey,
He's
let
the
me
Dan Lenning is the Dan Campbell of college football. Cause Dan Campbell wasn't all that. He ain't all that down there in Detroit. Everybody
I
know
ain't gonna
that.
say that. I ain't gonna say that because
You remember
Campbell
his
better
first
than
two?
Lanning. Dan
Wait,
Campbell better.
wait. But I'm
I ain't gonna
saying,
say
remember
that.
his first 2 years? Bro, they looked terrible. He was doing questionable stuff out there, man. He
Look how
wasn't
they
all
I ain't
that.
gonna say that.
look how
I
they
ain't gonna.
made.
He inherited a mess, and he drafted good while he was there and made the proper trade. Dan Lanning inherited a gold mine already. Dan Lanning
That
inherited a good roster and a whole lot of money and everything. He inherited that. He came
okay,
into
you
a
right.
good situation. Just
You
like
right.
Ryan Day.
You right on that.
Just like Ryan Day.
Yeah.
I don't think Ryan Day is a good coach. He came into a gold mine. Urban Meyer left him a program. He walked into 5 stars after 5 stars after 5 stars, all the money in the world, and he's still not achieving.
Well, if
You
we
know what I'm
look
saying?
at it, like that's what happened with Lincoln Riley too at Oklahoma.
Yeah, and look at him now when he's forced to actually build a program.
Right. He
He
can't
ain't
do
that
it.
good. He can't do it. You need to look at coaches at some of these smaller programs who are actually building programs and doing a good job down there, and go get you a coach, because some of these guys, these big name dudes, ain't doing nothing out here. I'm sorry, man.
Hold on. The coldest nigga we had on our staff was the one who left and already produced what he gonna do by looking at Lincoln Riley.
Who?
And that's Matt Ince. When you come into somebody's program and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I can see what he doing, how he doing it, how he ain't doing it right. It's cool. Because Matt Ince came out and said, oh, yeah, no, we gonna be a running football program.
Okay, but John, let's be honest. If you want to call out Lincoln Riley and these other schools for inherited program, Matt Inch inherited a program who had won way. I don't know how many national championships before he got there in North Dakota State.
But
So
how
he
many
ain't built no
championships did
program
you run
either.
off of that?
But he was also the defensive coordinator that won 2 or 3 of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was the face of it as a defensive coordinator, right?
Right.
Now, you know how long North Dakota State had been winning championships before he got
Yeah,
there?
they've been whooping some
they
ass.
was running
Yeah,
them
they've
off.
been whooping.
They was running them off.
Yeah.
They the cream, dollar cream of that
But he
school
didn't
recruiting class
stop.
at this point.
But when he was there, I think that is their golden era, though. Like when Matt Ince was there, that is their prime, though. But look, Matt Ince, or I ain't gonna argue that because I ain't gonna act like I'm a North Dakota State philosopher. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I will argue if you know, you know. But Matt
Right.
Ince ain't getting 110 million, though. See, it's different when you say this gonna be the mecca of college football and all this other shit, right? And you got $110 million contract and all this. You supposed to be. I heard y'all bring up Sean McVay earlier. Lincoln Riley supposed to be in the Sean McVay of college football, though. A young coach in his 30s, already doing his thing. But his trajectory,
he ain't been doing it.
He been going on.
Exactly. I want a defensive-minded head coach anyways, man, at SC. You give me a defensive-minded head coach.
Would you take D'Anton Lynn as our head coach?
I would love to make him the head coach. Because, you know.
You had the power.
You said what?
You'll do that right now if you had the power?
Yeah, I'll make D'Anton Lynn the head coach. I'll make Eric Henderson the defensive coordinator and let them fill out they staff. Because he gonna just go out somebody. He gonna find somebody to run that offense. He gonna find somebody good to run that offense. He gonna put everybody in place. The NFL coaches they do better in college football as well. A lot of them do. But if I really wanted to go out it, if I couldn't make D'Anton Lynn head coach, outside of those 2 other NFL coaches I said earlier, I'll probably go out there and get me Chris Peterson, who used to be at Boise State and UW.
Now that's different.
Hey, Carter, you're right. We in the middle. They had won 4 straight. Then he became the defensive coordinator. Then they won 4 more while he was on coaching staff.
Yep.
So they won 4 straight before him. Then he came on to DC, and then they won 2 more. Then they won 2 more as head coach. So he was there for like 8 years.
Yeah, so he learned the program. He learned how to do it. He like gonna get rolling. Have my little twist to it, and we're gonna be popping. That's all you got to do. If it works, don't mess it up. That's all I'm saying. If you got the recipe, the formula for it, don't tinker it too much to where you just burn the ship down. Don't do that.
All right. I've been cooking for like 3.5 hours. I gotta get off, but y'all want to have any final statements to the USC fans and what y'all think about going on?
Going forward, USC finds you a general manager to run the NIL portion of it. Get you an offensive coordinator, an O-line coach, and get you a receivers coach. I think we'll be in a better position than what we is now. Because we made the strides when he made the change from defensive coordinator, and everybody saw the rise of that. Now he got to make more changes. He got to get out of his ego, man. If he gets out of his ego, we'll be in better position, I think. That's my final statement.
What you got, Chris?
I believe we we heading the direction. We fixed the defensive coaching. Now we got to tag the defensive players. We knew our offensive line was the issue. That coach is gone. Now we got to bring in the right offensive line coach as well. But I I'm short sighted right now. Nothing else matters. It don't matter if we get a GM in. It don't matter if we get a linebacker, offensive coordinator, or offensive line coach. If we don't win this portal, I don't even know what we're talking about.
Right.
If
That's
we
true.
don't, if we don't get the trench players that we need in this portal, it don't matter who we got as coaches. It's gonna be rough. Man. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm short
So that,
sighted. We have to win this portal, and we have to execute. We can't get a B. We can't get it. We got to get an A+ in this
you
portal.
right about that. You right about
And when
that.
I say A+, I mean in the trenches.
Because that schedule gonna be tough next year too. The schedule gonna be tough.
Well, the schedule a lot softer, but still, we need
I don't
we
think
need
so,
trench
bro.
players.
Now we got
We
Oregon and Ohio State next year.
no, but we said the
We don't have
same thing for
Ohio
this
State.
season. We said
We
the
have
same
Oregon
thing
and
for this
Michigan.
season.
No, we play Ohio State next year, bro. Check it.
No, we play Oregon, we play
And Michigan.
Michigan, we
We don't
play
play Penn. We don't play Penn State. The next best teams we play Notre Dame like always. We play
Iowa
Nebraska again, and we play
and Iowa.
Iowa. Yeah, this
And
this
that
se- this
physical.
schedule is a lot. This schedule is a lot softer than this past season. This past season, we had the second toughest conference in the nation. The schedule right behind Florida. We had the second toughest schedule in the nation behind Florida. We knew that going into it. We had to open up with LSU. We had to go to Michigan. We had Penn State. Had Notre Dame. The schedule next year is a lot lighter than the schedule this year.
Okay, I guess you can say that. And we were in every game. You know what's so crazy? We was in every game, either had the lead and then we just blew it at the end.
Yep.
That's the craziest thing about it. Like we are that good, but we can't get out of the way of the coach's ego and his bad play calling and a few little minor breakdowns. Sad, man.
I got a question
But,
though.
hey, Carter, y'all, I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. I have to hop off, man. It's always a pleasure, man. Y'all be blessed.
All
Yeah,
right,
I call back on too next time with your Carter. I got to get back to work.
all right, you go back to work. Hey, thanks for coming through. I'm gonna go live again next time something break.
All right.
Tap in with me. Yeah. Now I was just gonna say before I hop off here, I'm just gonna say it's crazy that USC ain't got Ohio State on the schedule the first 2 years of the Big Ten. I feel like that means the Big Ten thought that SC was gonna be meeting Ohio State in the Big Ten playoffs. Because how we not have Ohio State in the first 2 years, we play Michigan both years, but we don't play Ohio State. I thought we was alternating them. Like we wasn't gonna play Ohio State and Michigan in the same year, but we was gonna flip back and forth. So if the first 2 years we didn't even schedule Ohio State versus USC, then I felt like the Big Ten thought USC was gonna come in running. I don't know, but what you got to say? What's your final little words to the fans you want to say, JN? I'm gonna get up out of here.
It's just like, we got to look at it from a perspective of where everything is going on as a whole. And I mean, everything to me, it comes from the top down. And, and that's fine. That's cool. We respect that. But at the same time, it's like, he got to correct himself. He ain't going to correct himself and he got to be fast. He don't realize where he at. You in LA, bro. We gave you the bag.
Right.
To come over here. So if you don't know that, you ain't trying to figure out the landscape in LA. You ain't trying to figure out the landscape in Cali, and you ain't trying to know what that is. You're not even trying to understand the university that you're at. Bye.
All right. I feel you. I'm gonna be back with y'all, Trojan fam, with another one. Matter of fact, another one I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get on this schedule too, because this schedule is weird to me. Like we at Oregon, like the last time we played Oregon, I know it was in the Pac-12, but we played Oregon last time at Oregon. Like I don't like that. They supposed to be coming to us.
Yeah, they all changing it up now. It's
Yeah,
just part of the process.
like come on now. But it's all good, Trojan fam. I appreciate y'all, everybody in the chat, my boy John, everybody that came through. If you ain't subscribed and you stuck around this long, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that like button and help the channel. Until then, fight on, fight on.
Fight on.